If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor look too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life for broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at the beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 40 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
But what is so important about driving faster than anyone else?
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
If like I wasn't a feminist, I don't know what I would be, if that makes sense. Like I don't really have like that's just all I know, I guess. And I guess I haven't really educated
That actually
myself.
makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Feminism is basically the air that we breathe, and it's the water we swim in, whether people know it or not. It's ingratiated in society. So you may not have any other position other than that. So if you say, I really don't know anything besides feminism, I believe you.
Thank you.
It's mainstream. Do you guys believe in the patriarchy?
But it's still a bad position. It's still like
That's fine.
just saying.
And what is that? So what is the patriarchy?
It's patriarchy's when like men rule, right?
Mostly, right?
Men rule, women drool. Wait, what? Okay, that's it.
No, that was my fault.
Say it. Can you say the patriarchy is awesome?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
The patriarchy is awesome.
That one, that's for you, Grid One Motorsports.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Sorry about that, guys. I had my mic turned off. I had to turn it back on. How is everyone today? I hope that we are all doing very well. What's up, guys? What's up? Everybody good? Last night was a banger, right? Last night was we had it going on. I don't know what, honestly, the man, I don't know what was going on last night. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Welcome to everyone in the chat. We've got a bunch of new folk out there, so please welcome them. Chat, you guys are the best. You know, that's we do have the best chat. I'm looking out there and I see so many good people. I see of course Mr. Boulay. I see Daria has made it. I remember that comic strip. Frank Black made it. Nick, got to put the pause in. Ga is out there. Michelle, welcome. Good morning. It's good to have you on the panel or the show last night. That was great. Natural Immunity. I'm not sure I've seen you on, but your statement of if you arrive on time, you're already late is accurate, sir. Good job. Raynor, not sure I've seen you in here, but welcome, sir. Enjoy the show. It's going to be a good one today. History Fuzz. You don't have to worry about checking my flow, bro. You could have sent me the email. I just wouldn't have gotten it until after the show. It's all good. All right, guys, and there's other folks out there in the chat, and there we have people watching over on Twitch and maybe X. I don't know. I think my X is scuffed. I'll have to check into that. If you're watching me over on Twitch, I'm sorry. I really don't pay a lot of attention over there. I don't have it up or anything. I only have so much room on my screen, and there's only so much I can do. So I apologize if you see me speak and or if you comment and I don't get back to you quickly. It's because I am not paying attention to the Twitch chat. Angel Berber, that's awesome. Smoking Patriot. I was just, it was no, I don't drink actually ever, and to be honest with you, it was just a great conversation, and it was really good. If you're not familiar with the Day Shift, guys, it's more of a traditional talk show where generically I just talk, and sometimes I have people up. Normally, the way this format goes is I will I'll do my show about the last hour, 45 minutes. If I have callers that want to come up and chat about something, or they have a problem with something I've said, which is normal, I just have them come on up and we talk about it. It's all good that way. I'm not sure, but I feel like Windows is I think Windows is scuffed a little bit. Michelle, I kind of figured that after you kind of went to sleep last night. So, yeah. Your nickname in high school is Daria. That's funny. We have two Darias in here. And of course, want to welcome Mr. Angel Berber, who is a fine human. He's a great man. We should all be so lucky as to be like him. All right, guys, man, so much is going on since the last Day Shift. I can't even believe how crazy it's been out there. And we're just gonna dive right into it. There's I don't know, again, look, I follow the news in a very specific way. I don't read every single thing. I don't watch every single thing. And I really don't know anybody that does, but it's just the way it is. So I'm just going to kind of roll through this, not too quickly. There's a couple of interesting things to talk about. And then I do have a topic today that I want to, kind of want to go through. So first is, if you haven't seen it, the one of the actors, I guess, performers, we'll use that, is now suing somebody. I don't know exactly who, but they're over the threats that they've received. I'm assuming it's the what was it? I believe they're suing the Olympic Committee, maybe, over the death threats that they've received from the opening ceremonies, all of the nonsense that went on there. My Twitch channel, that's a great question. It is An Unreasonable Man. Just really simple. But yeah, so it's a yeah, there you go. Anyway, Crumple Stillskin has followed me. I don't know if that came up on the thing there. Yep, there it is. Look at that. It's working. All right, guys. Yeah, I know Josie is upset. Made a big thing on Glenn's panel last night. Why the hell did she do that? That's a dumb thing to do. I'm the one that blocked her. Fuck. Just craziness. Anyway. You're so over it, Daria. I kind of am too, but this is not an Olympic athlete. This is an Olympic person who is now suing for, I guess, the death threats and stuff. That's very funny. And look, here's my thoughts on because I really haven't addressed the Olympic opener. Here's the thing. I don't care. They're fucking degenerates. They did degenerate shit. Who cares? I don't concern myself with the actions of degenerates. And nothing they do surprises me. Okay, it was demonic. Of course it was. Because they're degenerates. They're sinners. Sinners sinning is not a surprise to me. It would be more of a surprise if they all had morals and were standing on morals and saying that it was okay to do. Then I would probably care a little bit more and I would have a position on it. But honestly, I just don't care. Well, this is just wrong. If I were the female athletes, I'd be suing. That's something worth suing over. That actually is something worth suing over. I would do that. Like, if I was a female, and I'm not, but if I were, and I had to fight a dude, no. No. Callisto Strange, I agree. Closing your eyes changes nothing, but it doesn't surprise me. I don't get angry about it. I don't care. Right. And that's, I think yeah. Well, there's a lot of interesting things there. Grumple Stillskin, I really want to address that. I don't know if I'm going to have time. So here's the thing. Look, degenerates doing degenerate things doesn't surprise me at all. Being angry about it doesn't get me anywhere. Now, if they were Christians doing it, that'd be a whole different thing. If there were a religion. And by the way, here's the thing. The whole fucking country is overrun with heathens. I mean, if we want to sort this out, let's just fire up the crusades and go to work. Okay? I'm not about hand-wringing. I'm not about pearl clutching. Either I don't give a fuck or we go to war. I really don't have much middle ground there. I'm just not going to get all stressed out about it. I'm not going to be angry about it. I just don't give a fuck. But again, let's if we want to fire up the crusades, let's rock and roll. So, again, country that's overrun with heathens. They have allowed themselves to be overrun by heathens. Sinners, the wages of sin, so to speak. So, yeah. See, Rothschilds, I don't know that the Rothschilds actually have that much power, but fucking Soros does. So that's interesting. The Paris Olympic opener, a lot of people get bent about it. As a Christian, the Bible tells me to be resolute, and the Bible tells me to not be easily offended, but not tolerant. It's a difference. So, but yeah. But at some point, let's go to work. At some point, the heathens, we have to fight the heathens back. So, but I'm not going to I'm not pearl clutching. I'm not hand wringing. I'm not, that was so fucking demonic. I can't believe they did that. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. So one of the interesting things politically today, I don't know if this is getting much press outside of some specific groups. It may end up getting a lot of press, to be honest with you. But have you guys seen where Trump is going to speak at the Black Journalist Convention? Is a name for it. I think it's the what is it? Something National Association of Black Journalists. I had to look that up really quick. Sorry. So Trump's supposed to speak there. Biden was scheduled to speak there, but then Harris became the candidate. Harris now says she can't go. She's too busy. If you've noticed, she's kind of light on the public appearances. She doesn't want to face they're not. Trump doesn't. Trump's definitely going to be there. Trump is he's going to be there. I'm assuming he's scheduled to speak, I think at 1:00. I think it's today. And I think he's scheduled to speak at 1:00. And they are literally they've actually the co-chair. Is it the co? Yeah, I think it's the co-chair. Her name is hang on, Karen Ataya, something like that, has actually resigned over this. And she's like, well, good luck to all you guys interviewing Trump. On the other side of that, you have another leader in that organization, and I don't want to forget her name. I want to get it right. I believe it is Tia Mitchell. It's probably Tia Mitchell, who is of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I had to look that up. Said to invite Trump was normal. That they do it every year. They always do it because they want these journalists to have access to interviewing the future president. Makes sense to me. I don't know. And she basically, her quote is, some of y'all in Atlanta Southern, some of y'all need to take a step back and ask why you're questioning why a group of journalists, emphasis, wants to ask former and possibly future President Trump questions. Do you hear yourselves? Like, this is like, if you're a legit journalist and you have the opportunity to interview Trump and you're not doing it because you don't like something he said, what kind of fucking idiot are you? Right? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so a bunch of them have a bunch of these very principled people. I'm sure they're super principled, have decided that the thing to do is to not only resign from the NABJ, but to go elsewhere. Welcome, Shane Herbert. Glad to see you in. Yeah, it's not really a journalist kind, right? Yeah, Grumpelstiltskin's got it. We're not really a journalist. I only write what I'm paid to write. So just clickbait missions, yeah. So Trump's there. One of the reasons they're pissed. Has anybody seen this video? I just saw the clip. I haven't seen the whole video, so I'm taking this a little bit out of context. Trump apparently said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Kamala became black out of convenience, right? Because she's Indian. She's not technically black. She's Indian. So, but she basically became black out of convenience, and that has a bunch of people. Their nuts are so sore over this. Like, it's a dick punch to so many people, I guess, or maybe their VJJ's hurt. I don't know, but whatever. They definitely are unhappy with Trump for calling it like it is, and that's exactly what happened. When it was very happy. Pardon me. Kamala was very happy to be Indian, which she is, all the way up until it was more convenient to be a black woman, a woman of color. Well, now they want, you notice that the journalists that want to get it right, they no longer say that she's black. They say she's a woman of color, because there's so much, it's so easy for someone to pull up and see that she's not black. Not. So anyway. And Chris Lestrange, I think you're correct. It is just cosplay for her. It's all about the votes. That's it. And apparently, Biden was worried about, and now Kamala is extremely worried about the black vote in the U.S. and especially with all. So here's the problem Kamala has. Follow along with me here. Kamala was the border czar. Why we use that term, I don't fucking know. But we need to stop. We're not fucking communists. We're not monarchist Central Russia either. So Rachel Dolezal did get very publicly wrecked for claiming black when she is actually Hindu. Yes. Tsar was like an emperor. It's part of Russian monarchy, Eastern Europe. So why we use that term, I have no fucking clue, but we need to stop. So she was in charge of border security. She allowed on her watch, literally, I think it's 8. We're up to 8 million now. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Grumpelstiltskin will know. He watches them out of his backyard, just roll across the border. So Grumpelstiltskin will probably correct me here, but I think we've got like 8 million undocumented foreign nationals in the country, and they're in a lot of places that the black vote is very important. New York City, let's see, Chicago, most of Ohio, Detroit, all of the places which have a fairly heavy concentration normally of Black Americans. That's where all of these Somali, Chinese, Mexican, Colombian, El Salvadoran, Venezuelan, all of these folks are going into these historically black neighborhoods. They don't like it, and that's one of the reasons why they're very concerned right now. Yeah, the closest she can claim to black is Jamaican, because it was her I believe it was her great grandfather owned was one of the largest slave owners in, I believe it was Jamaica. It was an island country. I don't know. You think there's 30 million in there, bro? Damn, son. So yeah. So here, again, and this all happened on Kamala's watch. So the one thing that she has to be very careful about saying publicly is anything about border security. Kamala's a fucking train wreck right now. Look, Camel Toe has fucked up by the numbers right now. So while on one hand, she is playing up the Green New Deal to a bunch of industry guys. Literally in the same week, she about faces on a very large portion of the Green New Deal and the whole electric car and transportation thing and all of that. So, right, Nick got, that's as close as she can claim to being black is Jamaican or Islander, but they don't claim to be black either, right? That's just like the Aborigines in Australia don't claim to be black, right? They don't claim that they're Indian or whatever. But I forget, actually, I don't know what they call themselves, but I mean, they call themselves Aborigines, obviously, but I don't know how they're referred to each other. But Kamala is Indian and like Pacific or Bahamian or something, or Jamaican, same deal. Yeah. So I know it's bullshit, Chris Lestrange. She can't call herself black. She can't call herself black. She's not a black fella. She's not from South Africa, mate. She's not a black fella. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. She's just fucking up by the numbers. The whole Green New Deal thing. She's on one side. She's got massive cuts proposed in the environmental science stuff. Massive cuts there. On the literally the same week, she talks to the Green New Deal guys and doubles down on the Green New Deal. So who knows who she's lying to? I don't know who she's lying to, but she's lying to somebody, because you can't do both at the same time. That shit doesn't work. So that's something that's really fucked up and funny. And I just don't, and this lack of public appearances, right? Like, Trump is somewhere every day. That dude apparently doesn't bother fucking sleeping. Apparently he just keeps rolling. Matt E, that I think that is I'd have to look into that. That may be correct because that was part of the Rum Triangle, which is where slavery came from, was the Rum Triangle. But I think that there were already islanders there, and I don't know. That's a good one. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to sit down. I mean, we're straining my memory right now. Daria, yeah, we can address that. Give me a minute. Well, actually, let me see what else I got here. Hang on. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, I will do a couple more minutes on Harris. Here's the deal. This idiot would support anybody that claims to be Democrat, Daria. You have to understand that Daria, that Camel Toe is the girl in the red dress, the hippie chick, I guess. Dude, why the shot, bro? Why are you taking shots at me? I thought we were buds. Damn it. Yeah, but you're right, though. I may never recover. Yeah, I think he sleeps. I sleep like 4 hours a day, too. And I'm like, that's the only way that guy can get it done. So, Daria, the thing is that hippie chick would literally go for any leftist ideal 100%. She's just, if you watch, I knew that the minute she opened her fucking mouth. She's a fucking escort who turned lesbian because men abused her while she was selling herself to them. Do you know how you don't get abused? You don't sell your ass to men. Seems fucking obvious to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. So, Shane Herbert, that's an interesting fact. I had not heard that. Was she not an escort? She was a corner skank. I mean, hookers. Maybe she met Charlie Sheen. He loves hookers and blow. So, it's Hollywood. I don't know. Anyway, you can't turn yourself into a piece of human filth like that. Refuse to fix yourself by going to church, going to, getting around positive people. And you just can't. You're never going to convince me that chick is sane and capable of rational decision making. You will never convince me of that. And maybe she is, maybe she isn't, but you can't convince me. Sorry. That shit's woke. But yeah, we have a lot of stupid Kamala voters. But the problem is that fortunately for us, the number of streetwalkers out there that are signed up to vote is low. So we're doing okay there. Just moving on really quickly. The other thing is that we all knew that they weren't going to stop going after Trump. Chuck Schumer has now introduced the No Kings. I shit you not, that's the title of it. The No Kings bill, specifically designed to pass a congressional law to work around the Supreme Court's finding that Trump has immunity. They're specifically going after Trump's immunity. It could backfire on them because, of course, Biden, I mean, at this point, charging Biden would be superior elder abuse. I mean, that dude doesn't even know what fucking state he's in, let alone what country. Like, that dude's lost. Poor guy. I almost feel bad for him. So I think that's press. here's what I can't understand. She had a 60% disapproval rating in her own party. 60% of the people in her party that vote said that they did not like her. They did not want her to be a candidate for president. None of that. So while we can, to some degree, believe that she might have energized some people who were not enthusiastic about Biden, right? Because Biden was, for the Democrats, Biden was worse than hold your nose and vote. Biden was, the idea of voting for Biden is like, you're just beating up grandpa, right? But you have to do it because the alternative is whatever. But you can't convince me that in 2 weeks she went from a 60% disapproval rating in her own party to flowers and sunshine and birthday cakes, and everybody fucking love her. You can't. There's no way you're going to convince me that. Plus, I can't honestly believe she's going forward with it. I can't believe it because Willie Brown is still alive. That fucker can be called to testify against her dumbass. And he will, because he's a judge. He doesn't want to fucking lose. Well, I mean, he's not anymore. I think he's elected official, but he was a judge. He doesn't want to, dude. The dude has too much to lose to fucking lie for camel toe. He'll sell her ass out in a minute. Low. Do you think that girl in the red dress was smart? She was dumb as box of fucking rocks. I mean, literally, the only way that she was able to make any point was to just talk over everybody. And when she was called out on it, she pouted like a little, like a 10-year-old child. Yeah. I don't know. Camel toe is, I mean, look, anything can happen, right? It's an election year. Shit happens. Still, it's just not there. Yeah. I don't believe anybody actually supports that stupid bitch. I really don't. She just, you just can't, I can't get there, man. I can't get there. I don't want to get there either. I don't know. Actually, I didn't send him the link. Let me send him the link. He may or may not pop in, guys. He's never. It's never expected that he does. Right. Well, so here's the thing. All the states that they're losing in aren't allowing illegals to vote, and there's states that do not allow undocumented foreign nationals to have U.S. ID. All the states that so here's an interesting thing. Here's an interesting thing. The way it's working right now. Oh, cool, Michelle. Thank you. The interesting thing about this whole deal with Kamala is that I think they were kind of counting on the votes of the foreign nationals, but all of the states that she's really losing in, all of the states where she really needs to get ahead, she's not there. She's not getting there. It's kind of crazy, but it's true. There's no I just don't know what to tell you. They're not the people just are not supporting her at all. And I don't know what to tell you about that. It's just the way it is. So, and they can't vote, and the illegals cannot vote. But I don't think even the foreign nationals want to vote for them. So we'll see. We will see. Good morning or afternoon, John Smith. You can't do that, John Smith. You can't do that. What's up, Glenn? Glenn is rating us. John Smith got a 30-second timeout, I think. $7 hours in the futures. All right. Well, we're going to do call-ins in the last hour, Chris Lestrange. So you are welcome to. Welcome to all the folks coming over from Glenn's stream. Thank you, Mr. Producer. I can't say that in that like sex kitten way because I just don't have it. But whatever. Somebody dust off John Smith. He got smacked around by the. He accidentally got smacked around by WMD. Yeah, you can't post links or anything that looks like a link, John Smith, without the moderator letting you. So I can't do that. What's up, Anson Knowles? What's up, buddy? All right, so yeah, hit the like and any other buttons you want to hit on your way in, guys. It's worth it. You literally typed it out. Whoops. Well, let me. I don't remember what you. I have to. What did you type? Oh, you did the @ symbol. Yeah, you can't. You can't do the @ thing. Yeah, WMD's a dick about that. He's a fucking robot, and robots have no sense of fucking humor. I haven't found one yet, anyway. So anyway, all right. So it's okay, Michelle. You can let your real feelings show. It's fine. WMD is a prick. He is, absolutely. All right. So, yep. Yeah, you did. You can't do that, man. It doesn't like that. No links, none of that shit. So, all right. Now that the bot has entertained us all, let's kind of get back on the subject. The No Kings bill, I think, is really interesting because with the way they just will not stop going after Trump like that. It's just hilarious. And I think that you would think that if they really thought Kamala had a chance, that they would kind of just let it roll off so they don't look like a bunch of dumbass bastards just being vindictive and shit. But no, that's not how they're rolling. That is not how they roll. They're going to be vindictive bastards. That's what's going to happen. So, is what it is. All right. So, on to the topic for the day. Hello, Serious Shelby. Welcome, sir. Again, thank you for all of the gifted subs last night. That was awesome, dude. That was great. All right, guys. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, I think this is kind of an interesting thing. It's not actually political, but naming it that is obviously strategy, so it fails. Yeah, Grumble Stilskin. That's a good point. That's a good point, guys. Have you ever noticed that in modernity, whatever we want to consider modernity, there's a reality that our workplaces, as a matter of fact, almost everywhere you go is increasingly feminized. Right? Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, so I was having a discussion with Siege D yesterday, and we were talking about how all of this stuff kind of works and why it trickles down and why it's a big deal and all the normal stuff. And I just made the point that if you look back to pictures of offices and workshops and things like that. Even we only have to go back as far as the 50s. I did the 30s yesterday, but you only need to go back to the 50s. And when you go back, so when you go back to the 50s and you look at pictures of the offices, they're very masculine, no frills. The reception, there's not, the receptionist desk doesn't have 20 pictures of their family on it. There are no stuffed animals. There's no, fucking, I don't know what I haven't worked in an office in a while, so I don't know. Whatever the personnel, the things that people do to make their workplace more like home, right? And it's an interesting thing to me because I really believe that this is, first of all, I believe it's on purpose. I really do think that the reality is that once we allowed women into the workforce, places of work became less and less places of work. And we can use the same example in our churches, in our schools. You walk into a classroom now and it's not a classroom. There's fucking artwork on the wall. Even if it's not a class about art, there's fucking artwork everywhere. There's, random knickknacks and shit. And it's really interesting to me how anybody can get anything fucking done in a place that is as much like your home or an extension of your home as anything else. Also, why would you be unhappy to fucking work there? If men have made these concessions to allow women, and some men, I understand some men are, they like that shit too, but I think most men just want to go to work and get the shit done and go the fuck home, right? You repainted your office so the vibe in the office could improve. Holy woke fuck. Jesus. Seriously? Is it purple? Mauve? Is it mauve? I don't know. Is it pink? Is it pretty and fucking pink? But it's an interesting dynamic, is it not? Is it not that it kind of crazy that instead of a separation of work place and home, we have such a bleed over from home. Salmon. It's salmon. It's not gay if it's salmon. Men can wear salmon. You can't wear pink. We can wear salmon. Yeah, leave work at work and home at home. How hard is this? Daria, I would love yours and Michelle's input here. And any other female that we have in the audience that I have not seen come through. Because I think it's a really interesting thing. Most of the men I know, not all, if they have a picture on their desk of their family, that's like a lot. And maybe they'll have a little trophy from the golf club, Probably not, though. And I think it's just a really interesting thing. But I think it's an interesting thing because men are there to work. We're there to get shit done. And it's not gay if you don't look down. Right. Ghost 1978. That's right. Salmon. If it's salmon, it's not gay. It's not pink. Men can't wear pink. Pink is, but salmon's okay. You work in IT and we have hot desking. So personal objects are a big no-no. It's a very sterile environment. Oh, nice. Nice. That's not in the US though, I'm betting. I buy this. I buy that. So and actually I have an anecdotal story of my own where I actually had, I worked in a warehouse when I was in college, where I loaded tires into trailers for Bridgestone, and I mean, you're throwing tires and loading tires and all this stuff. And I never actually used the break room really, but I mean, I went in there a couple of times. So that when I first started working there, and I was a contractor, I didn't actually work for Bridgestone. When I first started working there, the break room was sterile. Like it was a refrigerator, a table. They had some plastic forks and shit on one end. It's fucking sterile. And but they hired some women to be counters of some kind to, just double check everything, which was fine. Within, I think, like 2 months, there were flowers. There was a tablecloth. Like, why the fuck do we have a tablecloth? Somebody's got to wash that shit now. The fuck? You got a bunch of factory workers in there spilling shit, and it's a 3-shift deal. So there's literally somebody there all the fucking time. Why put a fucking tablecloth in that damn lunchroom? It was the dumbest thing I ever saw. And a bunch of other girly shit. Did it improve the work environment? Probably not. Did it add a little bit of hassle? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The tablecloth thing blows my fucking mind. But what it really did is it made men a little less comfortable, right? I do not appreciate the female nesting instinct in a place of work. So, at all. It's I don't think it's, I don't think it's the right thing to do at all. I can't see where anybody would think it's the right thing to do. I also saw I'm going to react to, we'll get into the comment here in a second, but, where did that go? Yeah. Nest or home. Workplaces or workplaces. The smoking patriot comes in with a banger. If there were no women in the workforce, then we would have no HR department. Men everywhere would rejoice, and women would be happier because nobody would be harassing them, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm interested to hear thoughts and feelings on this. Or not feelings, thoughts. Okay. Thoughts are okay. No feelings. Keep your fucking feelings to yourself. But what do you guys think here, man? Am I off base on it? It seems like most people are Karens would riot, Frank Black. Absolutely. They'd be 4 different kinds of pissed off. Have you seen a company that went from, or have you worked for a company that went from having a bunch of non-essential shit and encouraging, all of the pics, pictures and knickknacks and little trophies and all of that shit? Have you seen a place that's gone from that and back? I fucking believe that. I don't know if it'd be Denmark, but where women ask. So there's an interesting thing. So part of the reason why all of these I didn't say it was open panel. We do the last hour we'll do callers. And if somebody wants to come up, they can say they want to come up and maybe I'll put them on the panel. I don't know. It's not really open, but yeah, just go with that. Anyway, a box of box wine. You guys are fucking funny today. I like you guys. So there's an interesting thing when the COVID happened and everybody had to work from home. in my wife's office and in a lot of offices that she knew about, productivity went way the fuck up. It not only did it not go down, but the productivity level actually went up. And the volume of unnecessary meetings and calls dropped a lot, like a lot. And because you couldn't just be walking down the hall. People just couldn't be you couldn't be walking down the hall and get pulled into a meeting, right? Like that just didn't happen. From backbreaking labor. I would just like to get done with the backbreaking labor and go home. I remember doing backbreaking labor. But I remember backbreaking labor back in the day, but I don't remember any, femininity being okay. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I just lack that portion of my brain, man. I don't know. Fuck, Frank Black. We got some. I feel like we got some action going on in the chat. Yeah, it's work. It's not happy fun time. So, am I wrong on this? You guys, anybody got any? Fuck, John Smith. That's fucking funny. John Smith is fucking funny. I'd wear it myself. As a matter of fact, I do smell handsome today. I wear a fedora. I've got a fedora somewhere. I got a fedora. An Indiana Jones fedora, though. Got to be baller. Les, how are you? Less is more? Is that how that goes? Les, we're talking about how I feel like that bringing the female touch into the workplace has not benefited us at all, and in fact, basically, it's counterproductive. Lauren B, you are smoking. That's based as fuck, right? We will work ourselves to death. We don't need women to deal with that. Working IT is mostly men. This I love. Way less drama and less spending time on useless shit. There you go. Yeah. Right. Well, there's this too. So how accurate do we think this is? Is it accurate to say that when men are working with other men, even if they don't actually like each other that much, they don't, I'm not talking about guys you actively just don't even want to fucking be around, but guys, yeah, I know that guy, whatever. He's okay, he's cool. How do men feel about women being around when they don't feel like they can talk shit to each other, kind of egg each other on, horseplay a little bit here and there, and just getting work done while, because to be honest with you, I do feel like that in a lot of occupation, more work gets done when men are allowed to bust each other's balls a little bit, take that tension off, forget about how fucking hard whatever the work you're doing is, and just have that camaraderie. am I off base to say that having women in the workplace in that aspect, or the accoutrement of women in the workplace, of all of the calendars and the fucking stuffed animals and all that shit, am I off base in saying by not having that there, productivity and job satisfaction goes up, and when it's in place, it may drop, or drop a lot? How far off base am I on that, guys? Chad has got it going on tonight. Les is short for Leslie. Okay, cool. I believe that it has less. Do you have a take on that? Yeah, this is true. Actually, Kat will speak to that, because Kat had a female boss who did the same thing. I watched a whole video on that Kat put out about this very subject. So, hi, Kat. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I'm doing well. Are you okay? You had mentioned earlier something about the flu. I don't want to get anything.
A little bit, but like I just have a minor headache right now.
I think that's going around. I think it's I don't know, around here it seems to be mostly dehydration and the heat. The heat level is gone way up. We went from, it was like 80, 82 last week. It's 97 today. It might be 100 actually. So that massive jump in temperature apparently is fucking with a lot of people. I've actually had people talking to me about that all morning. About, I'm getting headaches. What's going on with that? And I'm like, I don't know. I got a headache too. The person on the other end of this phone call, that's my fucking headache. I'm kidding. Do you want to speak to the vicious feminist boss, Kat?
Well, in my experience, yeah, women should not have power over younger, more attractive women, because there's going to be a jealousy. There's going to be a...
She said more attractive. Holy shit.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to get canceled now. What did you do to me? What is wrong with you? You can't say that out loud. You can think it, but you're not supposed to say that out loud.
Look, we all know, we've all seen. And then there's always like, if you say, oh, generally this happens, and you say, oh, well, but I'm not attractive and I'm not mean to the younger, unattractive people. And I'm just like, we're not talking about you. We're talking in generalities, as always. So it's just like, just because a few people are not jealous and haters, that doesn't mean that most of the time people are not going to use their powers against each other, because power corrupts absolutely all the time, and women love power more than men.
So if I'm going to be canceled, I'm going out in style. I'm just going to say the angry, old, ugly feminist women coming down on the pretty ones. That's got it. Oh, fucking Daria's backing you up.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Daria's got your back.
Yeah, every
I'm going
cute
down
girl.
in flames. It's nice knowing you guys.
Every cute girl has experienced it, and we're not allowed to complain, because it's, you have to shut up and take it, because if you're cute, you're privileged, so shut up and take it. Don't complain. But we all know.
You want to read Daria's comment?
Especially if the older women are not happy with themselves and not confident, they will be jealous of the younger women and will take out their frustration on them. 100%. I see it all the time. unhappily married women take out their frustration on young, pretty women and happily married women. And I mean, that's just how it is. Women are catty. And the only reason why we don't completely kill each other is because men keep us in line. And I hate to say that, but there is no sisterhood. Like when you have that disparity, like somebody is more attractive, maybe has better social skills, maybe is more likable, and then somebody's less attractive, maybe less social skills, not as likable, there's going to be jealousy and hatred. And for men, when that happens, men are more hierarchical, so like they will fall in line. They'll be like, this is my place, and they'll accept it more. Women do not accept a lower value, a lower status on the hierarchy. They get really pissed. They take it out. They lash out. And that explains all the problems that women have when they work together.
Hyper feminist bosses only hire fat, ugly. I have a story about this. We're gonna get in that. Work is suddenly not a good place to meet a potential wife. Yeah, that's good. Here we go. You can read this one, and then I'll launch into my story.
I mean, she's not wrong. We are talking about women here. That's the nature of the beast.
So, when I was in college, really the longest job I had in college was I ran movie theaters. I was a manager for movie theaters in the Nashville area, and there was at that time that ran my division. The division or district manager was this fat, ugly hag named Shelly Barnes. Shelly, if you're out there, fuck you. Anyway, she literally promoted women over more qualified men, and the women were typically fat and ugly just like her. I had an assistant manager that at one of the locations I ran that was really good at the job without being a complete cunt. Okay? Like so have you ever noticed, women, back me up on this if you don't if you've experienced this. If you haven't experienced it, good for you. A lot of times when a female becomes any kind of boss, manager, or anything like that, they go so far with it, they become basically a cunt. And nobody respects them. And so, and here's the thing is men will literally listen to dudes that they fucking hate as long as they're talking to them in a way that they understand. That's why men can lead men, because a man that's leading, that's actually leading, talks and assigns things in a way that men understand. Women, even if they're liked by everybody, they often do not communicate with men in a way that men understand, or even women understand. And it comes off as being bitchy, cunty, just a horrible leader. And it's an interesting dynamic. My wife and I actually just talking about this the other day. So this district manager was literally told by the owners of the company, not her boss, the owners of the company, that if she hired one more female and put them in a manager role, she was going to be fired. That's how bad it was. Literally every person that she put in as manager fucking failed. And I mean failed, like one of them stole 30 grand one night in cash. Because, most of in a movie theater, the deposits are usually in cash. Back then, we didn't take credit cards at movie theaters back in the day. Back in the, back fucking 30 years ago. So we didn't, you know, since she got robbed making the deposit for like 30 grand one night. It's like she didn't follow any of the procedures, all that kind of shit. I will read your last comment. I'm sorry. I'm on my bicycle. I got to ride. And, but I have that exact thing. I had the highest per cap in actually, I think my division, but definitely in my district. And she would not promote me because I was a dude, because I had a dick and I could use it. So other than that, Garrus Godfrey, it wasn't the goddamn 50s, you bastard. Yeah. So, yeah. 30K a night back when tickets were $3 a piece is pretty good for a movie theater. Of course, we sold out a bunch of fucking. I think she was in a duplex, honestly. So that's pretty good. I gotta. Which one do you want me to read, Daria? I'm scrolling. Did I miss something, by the way? Did someone named Shelly get out of line? I'm seeing a bunch of references to Shelly. Yeah. All right. Anyway, what were you talking about, Dart? Men can be physically aggressive, but that's not tolerated in today's society. I mean, I tolerate it. That's fine. Men are vicious. Women are vicious and manipulative. And since you can get away with that in today's society, it happens all the time. That's true. That's true. Who is Shelly? Were you talking about? Or maybe they were talking about Miss Barnes. Anyway. Yeah, Shelly Barnes, yeah. I thought I missed something in the chat. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. But and really, I didn't really kind of want to go down this specific line. What do you think about women feminizing the workplace, Kat?
In what way?
Like you worked in an office, right? And your job was to like process fucking papers. Or well, we don't use paper anymore, but you're data entry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Files, you're on your computer all day, whatever. Coming in, maybe, putting up curtains, having like 10,000 pictures of your various cats on your desk, having a scented, quilted keyboard mat. I'm making shit up at this point, but you understand it, like making your workspace homey,
making it cute. Yeah. I mean, at home, obviously I make my little office area cute.
That's your damn house. We're talking about in the workplace.
Yeah. But when I was working, I kept everything like there was nothing on the desk. It looked like it was a brand new office that someone can move in and put their stuff in, because that's how crazy I was when it comes to work. It's like, I'm just here to do this and then I'm leaving. I don't care. But then my boss, a man, came in and said, "What is going on here? There's no pictures. There's nothing. It looks like you're, about ready to quit. Like, why don't you settle in a little bit?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that I kind of figured that you were maybe have one picture of your dad or mom or something on your desk, but not even that, huh? Just sterile. So I think that's the way it should be. Right? Like, I think that's the way it should be. Unless you fucking own the company and you have an office, right? Like,
well, I did have an office.
Like a corner office, right?
I did have a corner office.
You can decorate that shit, right?
I did, but still I wouldn't.
You can read this one. Try and put some feeling in it, some emotion.
Feminists that LARP as leaders always become tyrants because they don't understand that to lead means to serve through sacrifice, but they sacrifice others for their own gain. Laugh out loud. Yes.
Ooh. That's deep. That's deep and accurate also.
I don't think that unhappy people, especially unhappy women, can lead. If their house is not in order, they are terrible leaders.
I'm guessing this meant I had cute stuff on my desk at work and a third shelf. My boss was a klutz and knocked all my shit over. Right. That's why you don't do that. That's why you don't do that. Fucking John Smith is rolling. He's rolling today. I'm reading this one. Nah, man. When you're in hell with work, it's good to know you have a reminder of what you're working for. That's why I keep a photo of a chili dog in my wallet. I could go for a chili dog right now. Sonic, extra cheese. Sounds good, man. It's good. Damn, I got to get out of here. 3-tiered shelf. Gotcha. Okay. Stand by. Keep the show rolling, Kat. Talk about.
I remember my bosses were gay men, and they only hired happy, attractive females that all worked well together. So we were good looking, we were healthy, we ate well, we exercised, we were in stable relationships. Most of the young ones were about to get married, the older ones were married with kids, and we were very calm. And then we got a female boss imported from a different area. And immediately she started attacking all the attractive girls, not promoting them, making their lives miserable, literally coming into your office and under her breath saying she was going to find something wrong and destroy your life and get rid of you for no reason. Like,
what a winner.
Just started working. And it got so bad that we even had like unattractive but super happy married with kids women, and they were overweight, and they would make fun of this woman when she would come in. They would start shaking like the staplers and everything on the desk whenever she would come in the room, and I'd be like, why are you doing that? And then they would say they would call this girl, the boss, the mean evil one, Planet, and they would say it's just her gravitational pull. We're trying to hold our stuff down.
Have you ever seen the opening scene to Wanted?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch. It's a fucking great movie. But dude is just like, he's got this woman who clacks a stapler in your ear. It's pretty nuts. I can't play it because of copyright, but it's just absolutely it's wrecked. Michelle, don't throw shoes at people. Okay, you're an adult. Don't do that. Yeah. Yeah, the Wanted is a great reference. Yeah. He says chicks aren't funny. That's funny. Chicks aren't funny. You ever notice that female comedians can only talk about their fucking periods? What's up with that? Why do they talk? Why do they do that?
A great joke about a girl we called Planet. No periods involved.
I don't know. I mean, it was amusing, I guess. I don't know if I go funny.
Well, whatever.
Again.
My God.
You want a cookie for that? Frank Brack's got you. He's got you. You want a cookie for that joke? That's funny. That's funny. Why are people fucking texting and messaging me? Don't they know I'm doing a show? What is wrong with people? Why do I fucking give a shit? Holy shit. What is this? Interesting. You gave out my number? My number is, dude, if you can't find my phone number in 5 minutes, you fucking suck at life. So I'm just telling you. I can do it in 3. Just right from a, well, actually, I mean, I already have it, but still. Cat's lucky. She's cute. She's been lucky her whole life that way. I said what I said. That's funny. All right. So you're okay. So what about, how about the way that, like, even stores, like, you used to walk into a store and it was just like items that you buy, and now it's like pretty feminine. So there's an interesting thing. It's not a theory. I think it's actually fucking fact that retailers, service industries, they realize that that women have a lot of the purchasing power. And so they specifically market directly to women. And if not, like, even at Home Depot, if you go to Home Depot, where they technically men are buying, you know, the lawnmowers and shit like that, even if you go there, the way those items are marketed is not just to the men, but also to the women that come along with them for the purchase, right? And it's very interesting, I think. And yes, John Smith, it is still the case that women are known as being the primary purchaser. So once at 304, always 304. That's why she changes her act for everyone she speaks to, just like a 304. You know, I don't know. I think women can change. It's whether or not they want to change. Women have to appeal to a liberal audience because a conservative audience will not laugh at women unless they're having their pussy egos rubbed. It's got to be right. A guru said it. It's right there in his name. He's a guru. It's got to be right. That's probably true. If the world marketed, dude, there'd be only 4 stores: tools, fun, food, and corn. Corn with the letter replaced. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Michelle is doing something. Yeah. All right. So this is this is actually Garris Godfrey. You're not wrong, because hardware stores would just be named hardware store with maybe the owner's name out, like Frank's Hardware or, you know, Dijon hardware store, some shit like that. Like, it wouldn't be like Home Depot. Like, what the no man named it that. Lowe's, Lowe's I get, but Home Depot's like, that's total girl bait. Well, why are you laughing? Are you not? You don't agree?
Dick's Sports.
Dick's Sports. That's right.
That's how men name things.
Yeah, actually, probably a woman named that. Guns in the Fun Store. Korn and Tool are amazing bands. They are, actually. I should listen to some Korn later today. That'd be great. There'd be a 5th store. Things your wife put on the honey-do list. That would probably actually be. Yeah. Where's the MAGA hat? It's not a MAGA hat. I should have had it on while I was talking about camel toe. There we go. Yeah. You ever woken up in the morning and just said, I want to listen to some fucking Metallica today? And you just do it. And life is great. This is how simple men think. Women would be like, they have like a 40 fucking page list of shit they're gonna do for the day. And it starts off with a 30 step process to clean their fucking face. Men are like, I think I'll listen to Metallica today. Like, I think I'll have steak for dinner. Or, man, I hadn't had tacos in a while. I think I'd like tacos. It's like, we are simple creatures. You're like, women are like a science experiment that went horribly wrong in all the weird ways. Not bad, just weird. Yes, they can change, not often, but it happens. I was promiscuous when I was younger, of course. I am a Christian now. I squirm explaining it due to the phenomenon of abusing that word now. Here's the thing. I believe that within certain constraints, the past is the past. People are allowed to change, and they should change. I think that especially if you're doing things that are hurtful or wrong, you should change. However, the fact that you did those things never goes away. That's why when people ask me if or people are like, well, you're a really good person. I'm like, no, I'm really fucking not. I'm not going to say I've done fucked up shit in the past, but I've done some things that were, questionable. I was a fucking DJ for a long time. And, it's only because I made a choice to go back to the way that I knew how to live that I'm talking to you today. Otherwise I'd be out somewhere. It's not part of it's not my place to look at someone's past and condemn them for it. I can reference it, but I don't condemn people because of their past. Now, if you're only paying lip service to making that change or being that new person or however you want to fucking express it, if all you do is talk about it and you aren't about it, you don't actually do anything, you don't make those changes, who the fuck cares what you say? When I was in military school, a very common expression, because everybody thought that they could work their way to the next rank, and the rank was given by being, basically excelling. So we literally had an expression of that you could build me an Eiffel Tower, but that doesn't show me you're ready to lead. That doesn't show me anything. You can work hard. That's it. Like, we can all work hard. And it's a, so I, now do I, we can kind of throw Nala in here, right? Like I was and am still a fairly large doubter that she's actually changed, but maybe, I don't know. Not really my play. And I don't have to deal with it every day. So why do I give a fuck? I also really don't give a fuck about people outside of my immediate sphere of reference, right? Like I'm not saying that if someone needed help, I wouldn't help them, but I honestly don't give a shit about how like that hippie chick the other night in the red, the lesbian, former hooker, not really lesbian then, probably bisexual. probably just whatever the fuck she wants to be that hour. What I'm saying. So I honestly don't give a fuck about her. She could be changing her life. Great. Awesome. Good for you. That and $4 will buy you a Big Mac. Are they that cheap now? Are they $4.50 now? I don't know. I haven't bought a Big Mac in a while. I'm just speaking out of my ass here. But as a matter of fact, I don't know how much fucking Big Mac costs. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying it doesn't matter to me. Why would it matter to me? It's her fucking life. She can fuck up all she wants. Where it starts mattering to me is if she comes to my state, my town, and my area and starts trying to spew her shit and change things that affect my life. Her mouth was so dry from that vape, it was giving me the ick. That wasn't the only thing giving me an ick. I got to be honest. That chick was fucked up. She was really angry. Crumble Stillskin is a Big Mac $6. Are We Not Men says it's $20 for Big Mac now. Oh man, I can't go to McDonald's. Oh, that's fuck. That's crazy. It is. Actually, I think the last time I went to McDonald's, I was shocked because it was like $12 or something for like breakfast. I was like, the fuck? That's like a real breakfast. That's like Cracker Barrel shit. I can go fucking Cracker Barrel and get breakfast. Yeah. Fucking McDonald's is McDonald's. I can't use McDonald's as a reference anymore because it's too expensive. So, Kat, this is right up your alley. There you go. Look at that.
I was insecure and seeking attention, sought it out in the wrong way, unfortunately, and I grew up wanting to save myself for marriage and ended up going down the complete opposite path.
Yeah, it happens, I think. Yeah.
I blame television, programming, brainwashing.
It's interesting they call it programming.
It is programming.
Let's not talk about her alley or what is or is not up there. John Smith is on a roll today. I can tell he wants to be on. He wants to come on and make some comments. Some gas station taquitos maybe for $4 from the Rollers. All right. Welcome, Serene. Is it Serene or Serene? Serena? How do you say that? So I have a request from the moderating team. Take the show for a minute, Kat.
Okay.
Let's watch the chat because I'm not watching chat right now.
Okay. Let's see. So I don't know. Anybody want to insult me? You have a few minutes.
Insult you? Why would anybody want to insult you?
I don't know, because there was like, oh, why is a woman speaking or whatever? Now's your chance.
That's your chance. Get her voice. She's got her guard down. That's funny.
Wow.
That's quite funny.
Cat more like fat. Boom. Got him. Good one. I like it.
That is good, actually. Respect.
Katibi more like fatty B. Boom, nailed it. Okay. You don't speak much. All right, yeah. Good one. Uh-huh.
I don't know why you don't speak more. I throw you like an opportunity to talk all the time.
Cat send insults in super chat. What? Oh yeah, send me insults in super chats, and then we'll read them.
It's not actually open panel, but you guys, probably in like 20 minutes, we'll start taking calls so we can have people come on and, talk shit. Let's see. You're struggling, Kat. Are you like? You want to chase that or something? Is it like
Chase what?
The ticker at the bottom of the screen? You're looking at the screen like you're a cat.
Oh no, I'm not looking there. I'm looking at the chat.
Oh, okay.
She's not fat. She is skinny looking. She needs to eat more. Thanks. I'm a little fat.
That's because you don't work out.
Yeah, I don't work out.
And that's all we can say.
Yes, we got some fat going on. But, whatever. When you're my age, I'd like to see you do better.
What is your actual age?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, sure.
Because, you don't want the internet to know exact anything because then they can, come at you.
What?
All right, let's see. I do not need to eat more. I need to exercise. That's what I need to do. Tell us who you are, Kat. I'm new to Grid's channel, so I have no idea. I'm female, biological.
Shocker.
I'm an old female. I'm old, married female, housewife, stay-at-home mom. And I'm not 41. I'm older. I will not tell you how old, but I'm old. And
under 50, over 40.
Yeah. I'm old. And yeah. You look like you use a perfume that smells like hummus. Wow, thank you. No. Where I'm from, we actually don't have hummus. That's another people's. There's no hummus where I'm from.
Lamb, though. Eat a lot of lamb.
We eat a lot of lamb, but we're not hummus-y people. I think that's more like Mediterranean or something like that. They like their hummus.
What Arabic?
Yeah, so we use a lot of rose-smelling perfumes. Even our desserts smell like rose or orange blossom. So that's like big over where I'm from. I do not use perfume because I'm allergic to everything. Okay, let's see. And I do not allow my husband to use perfume because I will start sneezing and get a rash.
You mean cologne?
Whatever.
For men, it's called cologne. For women, perfume is okay to say, but for men,
whatever. But the point is, it's good. It's good to not like fragrance because it's all toxic. And you should not buy perfume. If you really want to smell good, you just get the essential oils and that's it.
Well, I mean, high-end perfume is not bad for you.
All of it. Yeah, it is. It's completely toxic. They don't have... If there's no ingredients on the bottle, it says, fragrance and good luck, that means it's toxic because they put a lot of toxic stuff to make it stick on your skin so it doesn't go away. Because natural perfume, you put it on, you stop smelling it, which is normal. You'll stop smelling it. Doesn't mean other people won't stop smelling it. But in order to continue the fragrance exploding, they have to put toxins in it so that you go, oh, I smell myself, which you're not supposed to do. Think about that. You're not supposed to smell yourself. It's supposed to go away after a few minutes. So if you keep smelling it, that means it's toxic as hell. And vanilla is a very good scent. Dudes like it, Michelle. So that's good. And you can get a very natural vanilla scent that doesn't give you any problems. Okay, answering the grift call to insult Kat. You look like you smelled toxic fragrance for the first 50 years of your life. Boom, roasted. Very nice.
Thank you, John Smith. That should have triggered the TTS. So it might come through in a minute. The TTS is slower than a normal system or the YouTube system. So we'll see. Can take a second.
Wow. Listen, Chris, if you want to say insults like this, you're going to have to pay if you want us to read them. No, I do not push essential oils because, for example, tea tree oil and lavender oil cause estrogen dominance, and they could cause precocious puberty if you put it on a child. I do not think essential oils are some magical thing, and I do not promote them. A little bit in a carrier oil, so it's not very strong, is okay in moderation. Certain oils, not all oils.
Stand by. Andrew, if you're in the... I see you're in the private chat. There you are. Gotcha. Welcome, sir.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How's California?
A little bit boring at this point.
I thought you were going to have this great debate with the lesbians.
Well, they didn't show up. They were too busy in bed doing lesbian stuff, I guess.
You. What? Well, why'd you have to go there, man?
Because that's what where they went. Remember?
I can't argue against that one. I can't argue.
Home. It's so that she wanted to go home so she could have a beautiful,
I thought we sprayed
morning
for those
with her.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's what she said. She said she wanted to have a beautiful morning with her wife or whatever. That's what she said.
No shit. Rather than come debate Andrew, that's not choosing wisely.
Mm-hmm.
That is not.
Yeah, I'm just testing out my headphones. I just picked up a new set because my old ones were not great. But anyway, what are you guys doing?
Well, we're actually about to go to callers. We've been on about almost 2 hours now. We we talked a little bit about I talked a little bit about the election stuff, all of the things going on in with Camel Toe, and how she's it seems like she's afraid to make public appearances. Her schedule's really light, and she refused to go to the and this is a weird one to skip, the National Association of Black Journalists. She's skipping that one, and Trump's going, and people have actually the co-chair of that organization actually resigned because Trump's going and Camel Toe is not. So I thought that was funny.
Well, they, yeah. I mean, if I were her, I wouldn't be doing any appearances at all.
I think it's a great tactic for her, actually, but it's I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the. Michelle's going off on these lesbians. She's like, got to get that morning coom in. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, from one coomer to another.
Michelle knows about that morning coom.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Michelle's cooming, gooning. Yeah. What the hell is wrong with all you fucking degenerates?
I'm trying to help, man. I'm trying to help. Yeah. The I actually watched most of that show the other night. I haven't been able to because I've been going to bed early, but that was very interesting. The girl in pink actually is local to me, and I've never heard of her at all. I was like, who the hell is this person? And I don't know. It's she was nuts. And I thought that she was going to be more based. The Pinky.
Wait, which girl?
Pinky.
Yeah, I don't know which one that is.
The Barbie girl.
Yeah, I don't know which one that is either.
The loudmouth blonde next to the one in the red dress.
I don't know, dude. Yeah, dude, they're all the same woman
together,
over and over.
right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, the loudmouth blonde in pink. Gee, that really narrows it down.
I get you're right. I don't know. The one that I actually thought was going to be kind of based, but she ended up being like super feminist. She was in the middle next to the lesbian in the red dress.
Oh, yeah. I know which chick you're talking about. The one that she interviewed Tucker Carlson or whatever she said.
Right. Oh, yeah. She's like, I interview A-list stars. I'm like, you mean you capitalized
Then we went
on
over
your hits to get an
Yeah, then I
interest?
went over to YouTube, and most of her videos have about 50 views.
Right, I saw that too. I was like, "Well, she's local to me. Why haven't I heard of her?" And I went over there. Yeah, it's a dead zone. Taylor, yes, thank you, Taylor, something or the fucking ever. Yeah, I'm sure she hosts. John Smith says she also hosts. I also agree she probably hosts as an escort.
Yeah,
she gotta get paid somehow.
They're all based like Millie Weaver until you challenge any of their worldviews, and then suddenly they become liberal feminists immediately.
You would be proud of me, sir. I have been told 3 times in the past week and a half that I have wrecked worldviews and made them reconsider that they live in an elite bubbles that are not reality. 3 different chicks. My wife won't let me around her friends anymore, but that's okay. That's not true. I think my wife enjoys it, to be honest. Taylor Swift. That's funny.
I mean, why would you want to go around any of your wife's friends anyway?
So, well, they think they're. So one of them, admittedly, was a liberal, and her boyfriend is a leftist German guy. So he's, basically.
I don't know. It sounds like man cave and beer for you, bro.
Yeah, it was, right? So I was like, if I have to be around you, I'm gonna have some fun. And so this girl was, first of all, she challenged me on 2A, and I actually took her shooting, and the whole time she's like, "What about this? What about that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, none of that matters. You've been lied to." And then we were actually driving to the airport, and I don't know how we got on the subject of it, but I basically said that you're a complete fucking idiot if you live in California or New York. And she's like, "Well, why?" And I'm like, "Well, basically anywhere is better." And she's like, "Oh, so Tennessee's better than California, New York?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, look it up. Guaranteed 100% better quality of life." And she looked it up, and she's like, "Holy shit, you're right. Like California is operating at like a $7.3 billion deficit. New York's operating at like a 4-something billion deficit. All of them have way more unemployment. Any metric that you want to add together for quality of life, Tennessee wins. We have a budget surplus. We have more people moving here than leaving. All of this stuff." And she's like, "Oh, you were right." And I'm like, "I know. I don't state things unless I believe them to be correct. I'm willing, if you can show me that I'm wrong, to be wrong, but I don't say things unless I believe them to be correct." And then, and I literally said that I think it's stupid for people to live in New York or California. So she's like, "Can we not use that term? That's offensive to me." And I'm like, "Really? I'm not going to be tone policed in my own fucking truck." She's like, my wife was like, "What? No, you can't say that." I'm like, "Yeah, I can. This is my fucking truck. I'm not being tone policed in my damn truck." And she was like, "Well," the girl in question was like, "Why is it that you feel the need to use that word? That word's really offensive to me." And I'm like, "Well, you being offended about me using that word in my truck offends me. Can't I be offended? Why can't I be offended?" She's like, "Well, that word's just bad."
Because of the tolerance, or what they would consider the paradox of tolerance.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, she just didn't have an answer for it. She just kept going back to it offends me. And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm offended that you're offended." And she was just like, "Okay, let's just drop it." She was like, "Let's just drop it." I'm like, "Okay. As long as you don't bring it up again."
Progressives actually have a term for this. It's called the paradox of tolerance.
Yeah. It's okay when we do it, but not when you do it.
Well, yeah, the only thing that will not be tolerated is intolerance.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's literally referred to as the paradox of tolerance.
So the the second, and when she left, and we had this huge battle over dinner about 2A and school shootings and gun laws and all that kind of stuff. And I literally called her a leftist dumbass to her face. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You were making the worst arguments I've ever heard. You're a leftist idiot, and so after that, she wasn't really around me the rest of the trip. She found other places to be. But she told my wife when she got home, she's like, I'm really glad that I had that discussion because I realized that I live in this elite bubble and I have no real idea what reality is. And I'm like, that's exactly what I told you. So anyway,
yeah, that's what your wife said. She said,
my wife communicate. Well, I'm like, hey, did I like?
Yeah,
really
bro. I think
off?
your wife's not. I think your wife's not being honest with you.
Oh no, my wife would. My wife would tell
There's
me.
There's no way that a chick had an epiphany and was like, oh, he's right. It just doesn't happen.
I think she did because anyway, and she was like, I don't know. She's a weird person anyway. So the second one I was at, and I was just having fun. I was at the Bitcoin convention late at night. I don't like going downtown Broadway in Nashville anyway because it's too many people. I hate people and there's too many people. And they took me to bars and I don't drink. So me going to a bar is just like fucking stupid. And the entire time that I'm there, I look like security, right? Like I'm like scanning the crowd, looking for threats and just being a dude out in a fucking bunch of drunk people. And so we end up sitting in the lounge at the hotel of these people that are my wife's. They're like schoolmates, associates, that kind of thing, and they're way wealthier than I am. Like they're ridiculously wealthy. There for the Bitcoin conference, and they're actually meeting. They met Trump the next day, and they all considered themselves right, not right wing, but they all considered themselves,
Hey man, I'm sorry. I got to cut the convo short. My headphones are dying. We'll talk. We'll talk later.
Yeah,
we'll
man.
Talk later.
Anytime you want to talk, I'm having a good time. I'm glad you popped on. Kat, could you read this before he goes?
$10 from John Smith. Kat, will you read my?
Kat was saved from having to speak to Andrew. You were so saved from poor Andrew. Yeah, you got to call his personal number and tell it to him. Doesn't count. Oh, next time Andrew's on, we got to have this one. Where do you misspelled do there? Where do mansplainers get their water? From actually, because mansplainers say, well, actually, whatever. Okay, never mind.
I'm a better comedian. Sorry. I win.
It's a bad joke. It's meant to be a bad joke.
Get it from a well. I get it, but still, mine is better. I get it.
All right. Wow. Andrew just left. He didn't want to hear any more of my story anyway. Did I miss a chat? Did you read this one, Kat? Where did it? Oh yeah, you read that one. Never mind. Got it. Okay. All right. Ghost 1978 has become a member. I saw that pop up. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Yeah, great. It's like magic. It's like a man splaining to a woman about light bulbs. Yeah, that's funny. You guys been great today. All right, so we're in the last hour. If we have some callers that want to come up on stream, that's awesome. I got interrupted in the middle of my whatever the fuck I was doing. There it is. That's what I was doing. So I will I will do this, and if you if I don't know who wants to come up, but you know, let's we can get some people up here. It's cool. So let me Kat, can you entertain people? Maybe, you know, see who we got Lynn Lawrence on the stream. Now, see, now Kat will talk because she likes Lynn.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Where's my buddy Andrew? I heard he was over here.
He left in dramatic fashion.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
It is very funny.
So what y'all talking about over here?
Well, we were opening it up to callers to come on and talk about the show. We're in our last hour, so that's what I do. I do it.
Oh, cool beans and rice. What do you guys talk about?
What did we talk about? We talked about a lot of things, actually. How about feminism in the workplace?
Ooh, yeah.
And churches and schools and fucking everywhere else that they go, they have to make what should be a nice utilitarian, plain place a fucking menagerie of
John Smith. Wow, really destroying me earlier? That's funny. That's funny. No, I was just about to crash out here not in too short time from now.
You've been up a while, man. I saw you've been online like 6.5 hours earlier.
Well, I slept from like the time I got back from taking Thor to the hospital until I came on last night. So it was quite a few hours. Like, just because I sleep during the day, you know, doesn't mean I'm up all day.
I just figured something out. It's pretty cool.
What'd you figure out?
So the
I want to know
the Streamlabs has a teleprompter. You can go into your text and paste your show notes or whatever.
Oh,
and
that's
it'll
dope.
Scroll it across the screen.
Oh, that's
you can
really
just turn
cool.
it on and off, and you can just be sitting there looking at the screen, reading your show notes or whatever. I just figured that shit out. I was like, what?
That's actually pretty cool.
It is actually pretty fucking cool. And it's only visible to me, so you guys can't see it.
Sweet.
So, yeah, pretty sweet.
I agree.
So, yeah, pretty awesome. And, yeah. How's everything else, Glenn? Everything good?
Oh, everything's good. We had like a really deep, heated conversation on my channel.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be, well, we were talking about like well, there's a few topics. We were talking about what makes a high value woman.
Okay.
One. And I say it's when a high value man invests in her.
Yeah, I'm not far off of that. I think I think
because the guy
agreement with that.
The guy is the one that takes all the risk, right? You know, in marriage today, like with divorce is what I'm talking about, in marriage. Like if she decides to leave, he's the one he loses, right? He tends to lose the wife, the kids, the things that he acquired over time, you know, his resources. So that's why it's such a risk for him in that sense. Now, I'm not saying that women don't have a risk either, but the risk doesn't equate across the board.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why. So when a high value guy invests in her, whatever your definition of a high value guy is, he's the one that's taking the risk of losing it if it doesn't work out. So that means he sees this woman of value to the point that he's willing to risk this. And since he makes her his wife, well, she's an extension of him, right? So since she's an extension of him, and since man is the glory of God and woman is the glory of man, a high value man would have a high value wife, right? That extension. That's how I kind of look at it.
Sure.
Like to try to make it all work together. And then we talked about the bear and the teachers. Who would you rather leave your kid with?
Yeah, I saw that was a title. Yeah, last night we were talking about that last night.
We kind of all picked the bear, and then we got into it was not supposed to be like sex in marriage, but it was supposed to talk about like body count and how it how sex plays a role in marriage, and your sexual history is important, right? But then like it just went down a whole nother rabbit hole, and me and whoa, what was that? Something just popped up across the screen. Oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, then Michelle's question, the diddler insurance. We're gonna call it Diddy insurance. The church has their Diddy insurance, and then we talked about like that. It just turned into like the importance of sex in a marriage, and me and Farney went back and forth for hours about this, and then ultimately we're gonna be when we come back on tonight. Me and Farney have like we're gonna make an address because we figured it out. We solved the problem. It was good though overall.
You solved all the problems.
We solved all the problems from our differences.
Welcome, Chris Lestrange, to the show. First time you've been on, that's awesome.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Doing
not
well.
bad. How are you?
Fine. Cold. You guys are
Cold?
lucky. You're in summer right now.
Where are you at?
South Africa, Southern Hemisphere. So winter time.
South Africa, like very like down on the Cape, or
Yeah, Cape Town side. Most people know Cape Town.
yeah. I had a friend of mine. I've actually had several friends from South Africa. I even did that
Nice,
South
yeah.
African accent just for you earlier.
I mean, you get like a 4 out of 5 for that. I don't
Hey
know.
man, it's not something I hear every day. So
Yeah. Well, it's very similar to the Australian one, you know.
yeah. So how's everything going down there in South Africa?
It's good. Most people just don't know that it fucking snows here. So we're having storms.
I did not know that. Kat didn't know that. Glenn might have known that. He's smart. He reads
A little
like
bit.
books and shit.
Sometimes.
A little bit.
As long as they have pictures, they pop up.
Usually the Americans that know South Africa are usually the hunters. We have a lot of guys come down here to come and hunt.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who does that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So grade 1, are we ever getting you this side? You're gonna come grab a buffalo or something a bit bigger than what you find in the States?
You know, actually, I missed my chance a few years ago. I think that right now it's just too expensive. A few years ago, there was kind of like a dip, and I like long before COVID. It's probably like 2014, somewhere along in there. There was like a dip where the price of the hunts just dropped for a little while, and I was like, it's gonna stay down. It'll be fine. But no, now it's right back up. It's like it's like super expensive to go.
No, man. Like if you guys ever plan that, like talk to me or talk to a local, like whatever resources you guys are probably getting, and they're overcharging you because they know you're Americans. If you come with South Africans, dude, our money's monopoly money. Like compared to dollar, it's really not going to be expensive at all.
Our money's monopoly money.
All money.
I mean, pretty much is.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mr. Boulay, that's fine. We'll just, as long as we can keep order, that's fine. So
What's that?
Oh, we have somebody else wants to join the panel. And, normally I keep it like between 4 and 6.
Oh, yeah.
He was just asking and making sure before he just sent somebody in, So just mods being mods,
Good mods. Good mods.
That's right. So what do you do down there in South Africa? gold field, oil field? What do you do?
Well fields. I wrangle animals. No, special effects artist on film and composer, engineer, and mold maker.
Oh,
You
sweet.
said special effects artist on film. Nice.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing in the effects? Like digital effects, or are you talking about like more like in live effects?
Yeah, prosthetics, live effects,
Okay.
blood and gore, prosthetics,
Perfect.
and makeup. Yeah.
Yep. I have
Monster maker.
experience with that.
You're a monster maker.
Yeah. A lot of
He'll
the
put the
stuff
bullet in your head. He'll put the fake bullet through your head.
Yeah, man. No, a lot of the stuff. You guys, well, Americans like to come and shoot here. Beautiful locations, monopoly
Yeah.
money. So we get a lot of big productions from stateside coming down here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Composite mold making. You know that there's a race car company down in your area. Fuck, what's it? Speeds, SPEADS, Speeds, and they did make a really good race car that because your money is monopoly money and the production is actually pretty good. There was some friends of mine were importing the cars from. Or having them made in South Africa and then having them imported to the U.S. And they were like, there was a lot of money to be made there. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, we a couple of years ago, well, lately not as much, but I mean, since like the 80s, we used to be big producers, man. Our helicopters, our tanks, our guns are good. Like a lot of stuff that got made here was pretty fucking decent.
Yeah. So you guys had a lot of political unrest down there about 3-4 years ago, right? Maybe a little bit.
We always have political unrest. Like,
well, I mean, where they were actually where they were like actually like going around and killing people.
Oh yeah, no, that happens all the time. It's like it's funny when we when we see like Jan 6 or like the George Floyd stuff. We just laugh. We're like, yeah, that's just like that's just a normal thing for us. We're just like, yeah, it's not even a thing,
You're like, that's just another Tuesday?
Yeah, man. That happens like every year.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we only get the news. So
yeah,
Adam 87 says he's from South Africa as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've actually seen in the chats. There's a couple of us that don't sleep that end up watching you guys' streams.
Is it like late at night there?
Yeah, well, it's like 9 now, but usually, I mean, the late night streams, it's like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, you got to get up early for those.
Yeah, I think it's about 7 hours from whatever your guys' time is.
Okay. Yeah. Wally says it starts at 3 a.m. I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to do it, but I got a schedule to keep here. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, the daytime streams are good.
So, what brought you to the channel? I'm curious.
Well, I actually became a fan of your comments on whatever, Grid One. What a legend. Yeah.
I get that a lot, shockingly.
Yeah. No, hoping to still see you on the show. What's Brian's problem? Why isn't he allowing? Is he scared you're going to destroy the goals?
Well, so there's a couple of problems. First, I really don't want to go to LA. I don't go to California. I don't go anywhere that forces me. I shouldn't say I don't. I very rarely go anywhere that forces me to be disarmed.
All right.
So,
but Grid, you wouldn't. I got you.
Yeah. And so
for backup.
Yeah, there's always, and so that the first thing is just, I've been in California quite a few times, and while I've always managed to be armed, flying into LA with firearms is, it's iffy.
What?
I don't know.
What happens if you drive? What happens if you drive, or is it too far?
It's 3 day. It's a 3 day drive, so it's not technically too far. but that would require a lot of my time. I've got a lot of stuff going on, man. So, and we've been talking about doing a remote in. Kat, you have to go.
No, private chat.
Oh. I don't understand this weird sign language of yours. Yeah, I already said, yeah, that's fine. I already told
didn't
Mr.
hear
Delay
it.
that was fine.
Oh.
I don't know. I missed stuff. I'm not actually paying attention to the chat, so you guys just have to.
So he basically said a call-in is good. You guys could possibly do a call-in.
Yeah, so we've been trying to work that out now for a few weeks. My schedule hasn't really worked with his schedule, so we'll see. Maybe coming up, and also it has to really benefit me for me to come on.
But I mean, wouldn't it though?
Well, there's some requirements that are being asked to there's some requirements there that sure it's probably going to be okay, but if I have to if I had to do it, well, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it, but it just hasn't worked out yet. Damien, I've driven it in one shot. It takes about 32 hours to drive straight through, and I've done it before. I just don't want to do it now.
I've done it too, and it sucks.
It does. It sucks so bad. But
it sucks balls.
Yeah.
That's way too long for a road trip, man. You're going to have to plan that as like a whole thing. You can't drive that.
Yeah, I have done it before. I just don't want to do it again. So, and mostly I just don't go to commie states, I'm like communist. I'm shocked Glenn is still there, to be honest with you. Every time I
moved away, and
I'm
then
like, every time that Glenn is like reminds me that he's in California, I'm like, why is Glenn still there? But then I mean, it's where the work is, right? Like he has to work, he has to make money, so it's where the work is. So gotta be there. So
yeah, Chris, you and I are in the kind of the same industry.
Well, what do you do, Glenn?
Well, I've been on camera talent in a couple of films. Been in like 30 music videos, but I do production, do a lot of editing. I've done directing. I directed a music video recently. So, I dabble in like all areas of production, post-production, pre-production.
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm trying to make the transition as well myself. Started doing more on-cam stuff and all of that. But behind the scenes, if you work in film, I mean, you probably know, I've done everything in art department, from set dressing to wardrobe, guns, MX effects, nature effects, food effects, all shit. Yeah.
I've done set building. I have done, helped out in wardrobe, but not really like do wardrobe, but yeah, I did I was a first AD, second AD.
Nice, yeah.
I never worked in camera department though.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult one to get in just because of the price of it. I've held a lens once and they almost lost their minds.
Yep. But yeah, I've done everything but probably camera. I've done grip, done sound. But yeah, camera's probably the only thing I haven't done.
Nice. That's awesome. Any stunt work? Have you done stunts?
Yeah, actually, I've done a lot of stunts. I probably have done more stunts on camera than I've done like, featured or, even lead roles. Yeah.
Yeah. As another fun fact, I don't know if you guys know this, the South African stunt guys are some of the most revered around the world, because I know, with the States and you guys, you have a lot of unions, which, a little bit of government oversight. So there's dudes that do guns. Yeah, there's dudes that do acrobatics, there's dudes that do cars, all of this shit, where our guys do everything. They train every single thing. So our guys are in Star Wars, in most of these movies. It's South African stuntmen that they actually end up hiring.
Oh yeah, I know, because I did, vehicles. I did cars. I did motorcycles. I would do like fight scenes too, but like most of that stuff was all done on like non-union projects, so I didn't have to worry about the union so much. But then once I got SAG, like the union sucks. Like get the.
Dude, that's the thing. It's a bit of a catch. It's a catch-22 with that, because I mean, here it's the fucking wickedy wild west. We don't like. There's no unions in any of the film industry, so we get screwed. But then there's benefits in both ends. We can't work.
I would rather it be the Wild West than have to deal with the unions, because then work will stay constant. Work will be steady and it'll flow more. But
yeah.
It's what the unions tend to shut down a lot of projects and make it all the red tape, make it difficult to get through.
Yeah. We also now the diversity and equity has started hitting film finally, which it never did. So now it's also like becoming difficult, for people that have the skin tone and stuff like that to like also get work. So that's not great.
Yeah. Les, you reckon you missed a lot? Yes, probably. I don't know what point you had to put the live on pause, but you probably might have missed Andrew being on and just, kind of, which was a very quick like run through, I guess. And, so you'll have to go back and listen to it, to see what you missed.
Hey, Grid, I'm going to pop off, but
yeah,
give me a call afterwards.
I will.
Yeah, we need to chat. We gotta have a little conversation.
Yeah, we'll chat. I actually probably owe you a phone call anyway, so that's cool.
Yeah, so I got to make a couple calls here right now anyway, so I'll be standing by.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys, it was a pleasure to meet you, Chris. Kat, you are still Kat. Grid.
Yep.
We gotta re-elect that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, I put the hat on earlier. I did a bunch of hat changes today. We're a man of many hats.
Hey, gotta be.
So is this Glenn running away from me again? Is that what's happening?
Oh,
see, John Smith is funny. He thinks because he poked a hot ass and he thinks he's funny now.
What's funny is I agreed with him.
I know. That's what I was like. What are you talking? But John, I wish you were there like afterwards, because like with me and Farney like hashed everything out.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, we got a really solid understanding now. Like what I will share it tonight. We said we made a point to.
Was it basically both of you guys agreeing with what I said then?
No, it's the way that I reframed everything.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, oh yeah. That makes so much sense. Like in that, that's
what I was trying to say.
It was the way that I was trying to get it out to be, but it just, fumbled with like the back and forth of like, oh, you're saying this, and you're saying, what I'm saying? Like, was not able to get it out right. And we both, it really came out good. It came out good. So we're going to share it tonight just because we want to show that as like a unity there. So
good. Yeah, good. Well,
but no, I'm not running from you.
For Grid 1, which is why I hopped on. But I just wanted to point out that you were, running away from me.
Nobody's running from you. Nobody's running from you.
This is probably the 8th or 9th time now that you're running.
Glenn doesn't run away. He just strolls.
Yeah, he saunters. He saunters away.
I don't run from anything. That's not bigger than me.
he saunters away.
All right, guys.
John Smith. Let's
take it easy.
See you, Glenn.
Oh,
I'll call you.
Yeah, see you, Glenn.
Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Grid 1. So, like going back to your original, the question that was up there when I hopped on about the feminization of the workplace and such.
Mm-hmm. Cat dropped off.
What would you say about I guess about workplaces that are already mostly feminine? Because I would think that, if it's a man's workplace, like let's just say like a loading warehouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you try to feminize that, and it's just going to bring all kinds of you know, it's not efficient anymore. We got to worry about feelings. And it's just like, bro, I just need to load a box onto a truck. There's nothing difficult about that. Just let me do that. But then, then you get into ideas like, okay, but what about, you know, childcare, like where it's mostly women that are working there? Because someone else would say, oh, yeah, women ruin the workplace, but you can't trust women to work all by themselves because then nothing would get done. Because there's no men getting anything done while they sit there and worry about their feelings. But then it's like, okay, but like, let's say like childcare, you know, are women not running that as well as pampering it up, as well as dealing with, I mean, maybe it's not running as efficiently, but is that not what's happening there?
So that's an interesting question, and one I actually just dealt with because, you know, I have a 3-year-old. He's almost 4, but he's still 3. And
a 3-nager.
Yeah. A terrorist, basically. I have a terrorist that lives in my house. He's 3, and 3-year-olds are all terrorists. I don't know if you know that. If you didn't know that, you're going to find out.
Both of my brothers have told me that, and I've witnessed it in both of my, or all 3 of my nephews. So yeah, I can, I believe it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I do believe that women do cock it up, even in a situation where they should be able to be themselves, such as daycare. For example, we just switched daycares less than a month ago because the former daycare was woke as fuck. Like, fucking kids in there that aren't even in kindergarten, pre-K, and they're celebrating Pride Month.
Right, but would that be a woman thing,
Black
or would that
History
be a
Month.
woke thing? I mean, even men can do that. They can screw that all up as well, right?
Well, it doesn't matter, men or women.
Right.
The daycare was catering to these woke ideals.
Right.
And
my question is,
it
when
was
it
run
comes
by a
to
woman, so therefore, by deductive
Okay, yeah, I see.
reasoning, I have to assume that the woman in charge decided it was okay to, you know, put faggot month up there. And
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the cause doesn't really matter. It's the outcome, right?
right.
Right,
And,
well,
and, you know,
but
the
we were
interesting thing is
correlating
that they
it.
didn't put up the NRA convention. They didn't put that up there.
Right.
They didn't. There was not a single mention of, you know,
Of Meninism.
of D-Day, right?
Yeah.
That they don't celebrate D-Day when we fucking won the goddamn war. You know?
Yeah, so my question is, though, because I can see this coming from women who are not woke, but they are, like you said, they had the nest egg type of mentality where they're turning the workplace, and let's say it's even a very conservative woman who for some reason happens to be working. Let's say she's single, she's working, but she turns it into a nesting area, and it kind of screws up with a bunch of the work things. So I don't think it necessarily has to be wokeism, and I don't think wokeism has to be women. You know, I think wokeism, first of all, would ruin everything no matter what.
Right.
But women in
We
general,
changed
whether they were
daycares
going woke or
because of it.
not.
The new daycare, again, it is probably 98% women. I
Right.
believe there is a couple of dudes that work there for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. I know one of them's a maintenance guy. The other one, I'm guessing he's a dad, you know, like a stay-at-home dad that needed a job or some shit.
Yeah.
Just a guess. And, you know, they wanted a discount on childcare, so he works there. I'm just guessing, right? Like,
That
I
ain't
don't
a
know.
bad idea.
I'm making shit up right now just because I don't know why the guy works there, but he doesn't seem gay at all. So, and he seems pretty competent.
Yeah. I guess my question is, do you think that a child care facility would work tons better if it was only men?
Yes, actually, I do.
Even though we don't have like the nurturing spirit or whatever you want to call it.
So we would have to divide it.
The thing
Go
with
ahead.
men is, like small boys and stuff, we tend to play and tire them out more. Where I don't think women do that as much. In the physical play, and the difference between like boys and girls, where girls will kind
Yeah, I
of
can
sit
see
and
that.
do things, and boys are more active. So men will be more likely to pick them up and wrestle with them and push them on swings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it kind of also depends.
Okay, a couple of things. First, Anson Knowles requests that I tell you, Chris Lestrange, that he is going to hand you a beatdown tomorrow in your debate. I was supposed to use a trash talk tone. I don't have one of those. I just have the same monotone. That
You
I
just
always
got to
use.
growl a little bit, bro.
It is what it is. But here's the thing. Women, once we're above toddler age, right? Once kids are above toddler age and they are speaking, they can move about on their own. They can more or less, they don't need to be coddled all the time. That's not really the right word. That's not the word I mean, it'll do, but it's not really the right word.
So soft. They don't need to be so soft on them.
Yeah, they don't need to be. Yeah, they can they can basically be left by themselves for a while.
Yeah.
That's when men need to take over and women need to go the fuck away.
Yeah. Well, so a good clean example of that was I was playing air hockey with my nephew, who's I think he's 6 or 7 now. I kept telling him, bro, don't put your hand on the edge like that. Like your fingers are crossing the line. That air hockey puck is going to smash the hell out of it. It's going to hurt. And he kept doing it. And then, my turn was over. His mom steps in. She plays with him and she hits him. And, he starts crying. And she's like, it's okay. And she goes and runs and hugs him and kisses his hand. And he's still crying. And I was like, hey, it's my turn. Man up. Let's go. It's my turn. And so, still in tears, he gets back up there. He dumb little nephew of mine puts his hand there again, and I purposefully aim at it this time and I smash it, hits his hand, and he just goes ow, 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 and he's like wiggling his hand, waving his hand in the air like ow, ow, and I start laughing instead of coddling him. I start laughing and go, oh
and
man, that hurts.
Laughing, right?
Yeah, I was like, that hurts, doesn't it, bro?
Yeah.
We've all been there.
So
you know why I don't?
I've demonstrated this to my wife many times. And I will and I firmly 100% believe this. There is women ruin kids, and I've shown this to my wife. So my 3-year-old will be crying his eyes out in front of her parents, his grandparents. He will literally cry his eyes out if he falls down or anything like that. When he's with me, he falls down. He just gets right up, back up. And most of the times he'll laugh because he knows I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be like, oh, are you okay? So this morning, perfect example. This morning, my son's on the couch. It's time to take him to daycare. He's my mother-in-law his grandmother is on the couch with him, kind of breaking a rule by letting him eat on the couch. But okay, it's a minor thing. He's not even dressed yet. And I'm like, Alex, buddy, it's time to go. You got to go get dressed. He turns off the TV. He's 3. He turns off the TV, puts away his little kid tablet, goes in his room so that he can be changed, get ready to go. My parents-in-law cannot get him to do that. He will sit there and fight with them. He'll laugh at them. He'll basically tell them to go fuck themselves. For a 3-year-old, right? In 3-year-old terms, it's basically like, hey, I'm not doing whatever you want. And he'll do that. With me, he knows that is not going to work. And it's the same way with my other son. When he was that age, it was the same thing. I would say, at 4 and 5 years old, I would say, go to bed. And he would go upstairs, brush his teeth, wash his face, go get into his pajamas and climb his own ass in the bed.
Yeah.
If my parents-in-law told him, hey, go get in bed, he would cry and whine. I'm going to watch TV. I want to do this. I want to do that, whatever. But when dad says it, they know it's serious, right? Like,
now, if you have a daughter, would you treat her the same? Because
why would I not?
Yes, Adam, yes, I physically harmed my nephew, or I allowed him to face the consequences of his own action. I don't know. I feel like with my daughter, maybe I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do the air hockey thing with my daughter. I would be a little
So she
gentler with
then
the
gets a
way.
broken hand in life because you
Well, yeah,
won't.
I mean, I would more gently smash her finger. I wouldn't smash it
Right.
like I did with my nephew.
Right.
But it's the same thing of, hey, don't stick that fork in that outlet, and they keep going for it.
Then
And it's like, all right, let's just watch what happens. They do it.
The
They get
reason
shot,
for this,
and it's like,
the
there you
reason
go.
for this is men value and use experiential learning. Women just want to sit there and babble all day. Kids only learn by doing. You can't tell a toddler anything. You have to they have to do it. If you want them to learn a new word, you have to say that word and point to that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but what you were saying about goals, though, is that whole thing with the crying or validating the pain situation. I'm uncle of 5 baby girls. I did exactly that, the same thing you do with little boys. It works on baby girls as well. They learn. You let them get hurt. If you don't validate the crying, they don't even get hurt. They rubber basically. They get up. They carry on. No crying.
Right.
No bullshit.
Yeah, I say don't
Right.
validate the crying.
If
and
you give them even this much, if you look and go, oh, are you okay? They will bawl their fucking eyes out.
I'm sure you've seen those videos of people holding their kid, and then with their hand they smack the wall, and they go, "Oh, are you okay?" And then the kid starts crying, even though the kid never touched it. Yeah. I mean, that kind of proves that entire thing.
Les,
Yeah, your
3 kids
reaction
a
to it.
fun age. They crazy as hell, but it's a fun age. They're terrorists, and as long as you treat them like an actual terrorist, you're fine. You're good. You're good to go.
Don't negotiate.
There's no negotiation. with
Headshots
terrorists.
only.
And headshots only. That's right. You just take that shit right out. And it's and last night on my stream, which is more of a relationship centered or oriented stream than in the daytime. It's more political, more just stuff. One of the things we talked about last night, and I firmly believe this, is that we were talking about age of consent and all of that, and I firmly believe that we would not have all of the issues that the ladies on the panel were pointing out last night. They're all the result of bad parenting. I literally anything that any hypothesis they gave me, I would just turn it back and say, well, if you were a good parent, that wouldn't happen, right? If this happens, you have failed as a parent.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the way I feel about. So my son's 14. My older son's 14. He is a man. He is fucking 6 foot tall. He's an inch taller than me. He weighs 180. He's 30 pounds lighter than me. Right.
Yeah.
Like, he is a fucking man at 14.
Yeah, you can't treat him like a kid. That's not a kid.
Yeah. I tell him all. I've been literally telling him all year, you have to act like a man, because there's nobody that sees you as a kid. Now your buddies, the other kids that are like 4 foot tall and 100 pounds, they can act like kids, because when people look at them, they see a kid. They don't see a grown ass man.
Yeah.
And so, but Mike, the comments are always, would you trust your son? My son's at Aviation Challenge right now down at Space Camp. He's been there since Sunday. I'll pick him up tomorrow morning. Like, obviously I trust my kid to do the right thing, to be in places with strange people and do the right thing. Now, that's because I did the same thing. We have become a nation and really a world of coddling dumbasses that ruin kids. We ruin them. At 19, kids don't even know how to fucking turn the air conditioning on and off.
Yeah.
They move into their first apartments. They go to their first college dorm, and they don't even know how to fucking turn the lights on.
Man, but it's also the newer generations, man. When I was 14, I was almost locked up in China and treated like a man. Like you need to like you need to learn quickly to handle your shit, or have the appropriate tools given to you by your parents, because you can never prepare for anything. But if you prepare a kid with enough tools to delineate which is the best response to any given
It is
situation.
your job as a parent. That is your only real job as a parent, is to equip that kid with what they need to survive.
And I think what my dad did that I very much appreciate, he said he wouldn't do this if he had daughters, but because he had 3 sons, he said, once we turned 16 and we had our cars, we had total freedom, 100% freedom. We mess up once, he takes all of it away, and we got to earn it back.
I do the same thing.
And you know what? None of us ever messed up. But it was, do you want to drive? You do all the paperwork. Figure out if you want to pay for your car. Figure out your taxes on how to do taxes for your job. Figure out all this stuff. And thankfully, I grew up when Google was coming out and YouTube was coming out, and so I learned very, very early how to. I mean, of course, I had the Haynes manual on how to fix my cars and stuff, but eventually it turned into Google everything. And so now I'm so practiced that it's like, oh, the dishwasher is broken. And I'm not talking about my wife. I'm talking about the actual machine. But if that's broken, I can Google it now and see what's wrong and start to fix it. And I'm so surprised that the generations after us don't know. And I'm 34 now. Generations after me don't know how to Google this stuff, and they're so lost and confused. And I'm like, I can learn almost anything if I just Google it. And generations before us couldn't, generations after us can't. And so I'm kind of surprised about that. But yeah, the whole idea of you're a man now, here's the responsibility. You want this responsibility. You don't want to be a boy anymore. Be a man. And if you're going to fall, I'm here to catch you. So be honest with me and talk to me about it. But also, if you screw up really bad, I'm taking it all away until you can work it back. So it's very much a meritocracy, earn it type of thing. And I think it turned out well for all 3 of us.
Respect and responsibilities work in the same way. You earn them.
Right. So I'm going to read this from Ghost 1978. About 5 years ago, there was a huge decline on tuna in a can because the newer generation got used to pouches and didn't know how to use a can opener. That's actually, I'm not shocked at that at all.
I heard about that as well. It's ridiculous. It's shocking.
I'm not shocked even a little bit. It seems like there was another one up there. Les, no, I have a 3-year-old and or I guess it's Leslie. I have a 3-year-old and a 14-year-old. Well, and really they're 10 years apart. So, which is interesting, I guess.
What the thing is, they can't use a can opener to open a can, but I'm pretty sure all 3 of us right now can open a can without a can opener.
I can open a can without a can opener.
Yeah.
I've had to.
Right. Also, generally specific, I see you popped in there. Welcome. So yeah, there's look, all of this is interesting stuff with kids and women and all of that, but to answer the original question, as clearly as I can, I do.
Like
I do
a
believe,
female-centric workplace.
I do believe that men. Well, first of all, I don't believe so. Ideally, there would be no daycare centers. We only put our kid into daycare because in our neighborhood, even though there's a ton of kids his age, 2, 3, 4 years old, they all go to fucking daycare. None of them are at home all day. We can't we can't have everybody get together as a neighbor and have someone babysit and have all the neighborhood kids play together, which is fucking insane. If we had that, we wouldn't need daycare because our kid would be learning how to be around people without us having to pay for it. Now I have to pay to send my kid to this place every day so that he can learn to be around other kids before he actually goes to kindergarten and first grade.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. If society were run idealistically, where they could just like, I mean, I grew up playing in the streets with my friends
I
in
did
the
too.
neighborhood. Yeah, and nowadays it's not like that. Yeah, I see what you're
Right.
saying. That we
Yeah.
would not have to count on a daycare thing.
Right. So when I grew up, there was always one teenager, maybe two, that made extra money babysitting, and all of the little toddlers would go there. And they would all play together in the neighborhood, and they all grew up together, and they all, they hated each other these days, and they liked each other.
And
the
that's a
next
good
day.
thing, though. You're teaching that teenager responsibility,
Right.
as well
Yeah,
as
right. And the teenager gets
yeah.
paid, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's a good thing.
Right.
And it's cheap.
Well, shoot.
Cheap labor.
I'm sorry? And it's cheaper. Yeah, and it's cheaper.
Yeah,
And
and
so
we've kind of tried to make it a point to become very close with our neighbors here. Like I bake sourdough and I'll drop it off at one of the neighbors every single week, and so we're getting to know them with their kids, and we're hopefully having one of ours soon. And I mean, yeah, I think the whole neighborhood concept has kind of fallen on the wayside, and I think it needs to be rebuilt. Get to know your neighbors, get to know them well. Um, it's a very, very good thing that shouldn't just disappear because we're in the internet age.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
importance of not having communities break down. It comes back to the village or the community, which is becoming fragmented with digital age and just how things keep changing.
Yeah. And so, Grid One, are you saying that if we were operating in such a fashion, there would be no like women-centric jobs that
well, there would be fewer.
There would
Okay.
be
Look,
fewer.
and I'm just going to go back to when I was a kid. I didn't know daycares existed. I didn't know anyone that went to daycare. I don't think my mom knew, there was nobody in our neighborhood that went to, I'm pretty sure the church offered a daycare for women who worked.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When I grew up, it was very much the
But it was,
church.
but it was in the church. Right.
Mhm.
And so, we've gotten into this point now where, we've, and everybody laments this, but nobody wants to do anything about it, right? Everybody whines, "Oh, well, it's so bad. We're losing touch with our neighbors." Well, yeah. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's why I decided to do something about it.
There's,
So-
what can you do? I mean, it's anyway. So yeah, I think that the number of daycares would decrease dramatically if you just knew your neighbors and you knew, hey, whatever her name is down the street, 15, 16 years old. In Tennessee, there's a law that says you have to be 13 to be able to watch kids, right? To be and so there was always some. I remember when I was growing up, there was always some girl in the neighborhood that watched us boys until we got probably 14 or 15. Maybe not even. Maybe we were 13, and we didn't need anyone to really watch us. So my parents would have somebody check on us every once in a while to make sure we hadn't gone completely native, and
right,
we're barbecuing the neighbor's cat or something, But it was just an interesting, it's an interesting dynamic, even from the period of time from when I was a child, watching it come up through. And watching more and more people turn to other people to raise their kids, to give them information. And by default, those parents have to make more money to pay for that daycare. Daycare is not cheap. It's $300, $400 a week, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
Geez, I need to get into that industry. Holy moly.
Right. And so, if you had and I'm going way back to when I was well, I would have actually gone Lord of the Flies in my neighborhood. That's true. But and I actually know one of the guys that wrote most of the daycare laws for the state of Tennessee because he owned a daycare. right? And he actually would write the laws and then send them into the politicians, and that's what they would base the frame. That's what they based the framework on. I know that guy. He owned like 3 daycares. He wanted to own more.
So let me ask you 2 questions. One, have you seen The Babysitter?
The Babysitter?
Yeah. And 2, have you
There's
seen
a lot of different movies.
And have you seen Daddy Daycare?
I've not seen Daddy Daycare.
Okay. Well, okay, Daddy Daycare, you got to watch. It's amazing. Number 2, the Babysitter though. Yeah, super hot blonde, chick babysitting some kid who's like, 12, 13, and she's like leading a demonic ritual. So there's that whole side. And then Daddy Daycare was Eddie Murphy trying to figure out how to run a daycare with all the laws that are in place, and it turns out pretty good. But he has, it's only men there that are actually raising these kids in Daddy Daycare. So
well, I believe that men do a better job of raising kids to begin with. I just can't find an example of where there has been a society raised by women that has succeeded.
Time out though. If you think that men are raising kids better than women, I'm not disagreeing with you though. But if the argument is, oh, women should stay home and be the nurturing, whatever,
I've
while
never
the men
said
go
that.
out to, well, okay. So I mean, this is kind of the 2 aspects of this idea of women in the workplace, or should they be stay-at-home moms? The stay-at-home mom.
Being a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean being a stay-at-home mom or being a stay-at-home wife. Let's use the proper terminology. Let's start there. You need to be if things are ideal, you should be a stay-at-home wife. Okay, which means that taking care of the kids may not be your primary responsibility. Your primary responsibility may be making sure that your husband has the time and support he needs to raise the fucking kids.
Well, and for the 8 hours that you're out at work and the kids
again,
are home with her?
I just gave you the answer to that. I'd almost rather have a neighborhood babysitter rather than childcare to raise my child. I would rather not saddle my wife with having to raise my child 8 hours a day while I'm off working. I would rather her to be taking care of things in the house at that time.
I mean, I'd rather her do both. I feel like that's doable.
But once the children are able to, well, and this is, I guess, kind of where our society is a little bit broken, not by much, but a little bit. If we go back to the olden days, if we want to use the olden days as kind of a baseline, right? And we can pick any period in time. Women only raised the children until they were walking. And once they were walking and talking and capable of, pissing on a tree somewhere, not in their pants.
Well, that's when the wait till your dad comes home. That's where that comes in.
That's when, this is once they got to that point, that's when they started. That's when the older men and older boys would start to teach the other young men, the toddlers, how to do things. And these toddlers would work right alongside the older boys and the older men that couldn't go out and work and couldn't go out and hunt and couldn't go out and fight in wars.
Right. I'd agree with that.
Any society throughout history, and it is that way. The Greeks, the Romans, the Etruscans, you can pick any of them.
Yeah, even if you look at just the colonial era.
You can look at tribes in fucking Africa today.
Yeah, but I mean more recently.
He's smiling because he's probably seen it.
just trying to make the argument of how recent it was. Let's look at colonial days, or even right now in current modern era with farmers. A lot of people always joke, "Oh, you're not having kids for kids; you're having kids for free farm hands," and it's kind of a thing. But it's like, yeah, as soon as they're capable, we're talking 5 or 6 years old, the man is giving them chores around the farm, saying, "You go, move some of this hay, or clean up some of the, the cow shit out of the farm and stuff like that." And they're seeing what a man does to work at, once they're like 5 or 6 or slightly older, right? I can see that. For everyone else though, that doesn't work at home.
But see, what people miss about that whole thing is, cheap labor, but it benefits the family in the cheap labor sense, but it benefits the children in learning responsibility.
Oh yeah, no, 100% agree. it gives
Yeah, there's
them that
no
work ethic.
downside. The cheap labor thing is a cheap shot. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a cheap shot.
Yeah.
Everything else though is entirely beneficial, 100%. There's no downside to it. They learn
I'm
so
telling
much
you that
and
there are
directly
tribes
from
in
the
Africa
father.
to this day. This is how it works. The women take care of the children when they're young and cannot take care of themselves. The minute that child can piss on the tree without pissing his pants or her pants, they go off with the men and older boys, and they learn how to do things.
And
They
learn
work right
from
alongside of
from
it.
older
And
men. Yes.
to this day,
I think we need to take a lesson from the animals, like the Lion Kingdom. The women love to throw out the example of the female lions go off to hunt. Yeah, but what they forget about that is the male lion stays behind to protect the cubs from other male lions.
and
So
teach
I
them
think-
how to and to teach them how to be lions.
Yeah, we should do
So-
that. Stay home and play with the kids.
Yeah, I love that scene in The Lion King where he's teaching Simba how to pounce.
Yeah.
That's like that's actually what I think fathers are supposed to be doing.
So there's no point in history from the beginning until modern times where this has not been the case, except where we allow feminism to grow. Once you go egalitarian, once you start talking feminism, then the number one thing, the feminist goal, the number one goal of the feminist is to seize control of the youth, because they can then educate them,
Indoctrinate them.
and indoctrinate them. That is correct.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. I mean, you can't. I can't think of an argument around that, right? Like any argument you're going to give me, I'll just simply say that no. It's been proven that our entire education system in the West is an indoctrination camp. It is not an education system.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when we get into the workplace where they feminized it and it's all pretty with all these little doodads and everything everywhere, though, I mean, a normal man would just look at all that and be like, I don't care, just let me do my job. I don't care. They're not going to fight for take this down. They're just gonna nonchalantly be like, I'm just here to do my job, leave me alone with all this other nonsense. And so nothing will change. They'll keep pushing for more doodads and frillies, and the men will just be like, I don't care, let me do my job. So
right.
Yeah.
So my son goes to the oldest consecutively run private school in the country. It's here in Tennessee. They have a building that I want to say that building was built in the 1800s. Still exists. They still use it as a schoolroom. There's no air conditioning. It has, heat, but I mean, it's a fucking 1807 building. It looks like a schoolroom from back then. It has hardwood desks. You are there to pay attention, not there to be comfortable. It has a speaker's stand, a call. We did it there. It and very little else. There's pictures of past alumni on the walls. I think maybe another hall I'm thinking of, but I think there are some pictures of past alumni. There are no frilly things. Why do we need those in school? You do not. Why do we need an art project for every fucking class in school? Why do we need an art project in science?
Yeah.
Why is there an art project in hard sciences? Lectern, podium. Thank you. Lectern was what I was looking for.
But something you're saying that is very true is you'll have a lot of this discussion with the workplaces are set up, for men. It's not set up for women. But what's interesting is it never gets brought up that the whole schooling system is basically set up for girls and not for men, because I had the advantage in being in South Africa too, where I went to a technical high school where we had shop We had electrical, we had technical drawing, we had woodwork. That was the shit. That's how boys should have school. You're physically doing something, you're making stuff, learning math, but in a practical manner, not just sitting in class being told to sit still and obey. You're in a setting where you're physically active and doing something, which it was a lot more fulfilling and educational doing that than reading from a book.
Yes.
And even then, I would say, I mean, when you get into the classrooms and you get into our workplaces, like I was saying, I feel like men, we're so adaptive because we're just like, whatever gets the job done, I don't give a shit. Like, just let me do this. We're not going to change anything until it comes to a breaking point. And like Andrew was saying in many of his podcasts, where he goes,
Anson's
at
been
some
into
point,
the cooking line again. Anson, you
Now, Anson, I'm going to crush him tomorrow in our debate. You must prepare for the blood. The blood is coming.
So, but what I think is at some point
he's been in the cooking, Sherry.
It'll
say.
break out into men being like, all right, enough's enough. At this point, we no longer can just do our job. Like for now, it's you keep pushing and pushing, we can still do our job. We don't give a shit and we don't care. Leave me alone. And at some point, it's going to be like, now I care. And all these men are going to break out and be like, all right, no more of this nonsense. Let's get back to ground zero of just fully functional, let's get the job done type thing. And it's going to be a little bit horrific for the women and the woke people and the liberals. Everyone else will be like, oh, thank God we can get stuff done again. But I feel like with schools, with work, most men
what
are
industry
just
are you
like,
in, John? I think you told me, but I forgot.
What was it?
What industry are you in?
Oh, I work from home. I do graphic and UI UX design for government.
Oh, nice. Cool. So there's an interesting dynamic that I think has happened, and what you're saying is it's pretty accurate. Yes, men. It's not that we're adaptive; we just don't care. We're used to being uncomfortable. We're used to being having to work around petty bullshit. We just don't care enough to make a big deal about it. And so when we're sitting around in an office that looks like the inside of a boutique, we think it's odd, but whatever, fuck it, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but there is the straw that breaks.
There's a psychological reason as well that women do this, is because they don't want men there. They don't want you there. Men psychologically do not want to go to feminine places. That's why we will go. That's one of the reasons why fewer and fewer men go to church in the United States, because the churches have become so feminized that we wouldn't recognize them from 30 years ago. I don't, because I've been going to the same church since I was 10, and I'm 53. So 43 years going to the same church off and on. There was like a 10-year skip there while I was living somewhere else. But my church is not the same church that I grew up in.
Right.
And I've told them that. I'm like, this needs to be reevaluated, fellas, because men don't want to go to feminine places. We don't feel comfortable there.
Have you noticed that on Mother's Day?
Go ahead.
Mother's Day they preach about how wonderful moms are, and on Father's Day they teach about what men should be doing better as fathers.
Right.
And thankfully, my church doesn't do that. We celebrate both. But again, my church right now, I mean, it's one that we started together. So there's maybe 30 people now. It started off with like 8, but there's 30 people now. But it was, on Father's Day, it was a celebration of how well we were doing as fathers and husbands, because we all intimately know each other and we can see the sacrifices and stuff that we're making. So.
Yeah. So, Anson, I would honestly, I'd rather just fix my own church. I grew up there. It's mine. So they can change it back, put it back like it was. It was fine. Sorry.
Don't want to run away. Want to fix.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a builder. I'm not a
I also don't
No.
know what the differences in orthodoxy is. I'd have to research that.
So,
but I'm sure there's things that I would disagree with, just like with every other.
yeah. The thing is that men will go to feminine places, but they won't. They don't like it. Women have no problem going into male spaces. They don't give a shit.
And feminizing it.
And feminize. But so it's like women will go to a sports bar. Men will not go to high tea.
But think about this. Boys club is fun. Boys club isn't fun. Why? Nobody wants to go to girls' night, but girls will want to go to boys' night because it's fun.
Right. There's identifying, these are easy problems to just look around and identify, although I think a lot of people identify them incorrectly. And I really try hard to, before I because I put out some pretty audacious shit, right? It's pretty audacious to say that women should back the fuck off of feminizing every damn thing around them, right? Like, you have a house, go decorate that shit. Don't decorate all the offices. Don't so when, and matter of fact, when I have one of my shops, I had this girl at work for me, and she's like, it would look really good if we put in carpet and we painted it, and I was like, no, it's a fucking
shop?
paint and body shop.
Yeah,
it needs to look professional. I have insurance adjusters. I have all these people coming in all the time to do business. They're not here to have fucking tea.
Yeah. How serious are you about mechanic work if there's a carpet on the floor?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's a
you can't have a girls decorate a workshop. It would just end up being unsafe and unpractical. It needs to be what it is to be the most.
Yeah, I feel like that's a man space that should not be. I mean, a woman can go there and be a great mechanic, but it's going to be a man space. There's no flowers. There's no paintings on the wall. No motivational poster of some cat hanging onto a branch. It's just all car stuff.
Yeah, we see, the thing is, we understand what is necessity. There's a difference between what's luxury or what would be nice and what is a necessity, especially in a place of work. It's
what's funny is that my mom
minds.
just got back from a trip to Korea, and she brought home 2 gifts, one for me, one for my wife. For my wife, it's a beautiful 18-karat bracelet of nicely pretty shaped hearts that goes around her wrists, and it's a bracelet. And for me, she brought 11 pairs of underwear. And I was like, this is a perfect gift. It probably costs like a fraction of the bracelet, but my goodness, is this functional? This is a great gift from Korea. So I think that kind of sums up the difference between the workplaces too. You want your frilly flowers and your posters and your carpet, and it's like, bro, this is a body shop.
Yeah, it's fine if you're running a B&B, but not if you're actually doing, like you said, auto work or metal work or something. It doesn't make sense.
So the carpet it wasn't in the auto shop. It was in the office itself. She wanted to basically turn my office into like a salon, right? And I actually was on board with bringing, and look, I was on board with hey, let's get some real bookcases and put all of the estimators' books and shit in it, make it look pro. I was on board with anything that she wanted to do to make it look pro, because there's pro and not pro, and I always want to be pro. I was not on board with carpet. There's a reason that we have tile in the office of a body shop, right? These guys come in with paint, grease, fucking acetone dripping off of them. We would have had melted carpet in a fucking week. So carpet was out. I did let her put in drapes, but just plain white, just plain white drapes. I mean, we're not doing fucking weird shit. And,
So you're saying the drapes did
basically
not match the carpet, is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah, no, they did.
Okay.
There was no carpet to match. And which is the best way. And so it was just one of those things where she wanted to put plants in. I'm like, who the fuck's going to water the plants?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? And it was, I thought it was very funny. And my wife thought it was funny too. So my wife has always been super practical. So she's like, why would we do that? Like, but first of all, why would we spend money doing that? I mean, if somebody wants to do it for fucking free, sure, whatever. It's not going to last, but knock yourself out. But I'm not spending a fucking dime on shit like that. So,
but the same thing, like if you want to be professional about it, like you said, you'd pick good tiles, or you keep the workshop clean and neat and not have shit lying around. But I mean, that's again practical looking professional. It's not like a puffed up version of something that it's not really meant to be or practical.
Yeah. I mean, I think I just think it's interesting, right? Like, this is a phenomenon that happens everywhere, right? And it's sometimes I don't feel like it's a bad thing, right?
Depends on
but
the
if I
spaces.
walk in, so if I walk into a law office, okay, I don't care if it's a male or female office. I expect a professional looking office. Potted plants, maybe some palms or something cool. But I don't want to see, fucking Chinese vases with, lilies and tulips and shit everywhere. It doesn't need to look like a mortuary. Right.
You don't want to walk in and it smells like incense and you
right. Yeah. I wanted to walk in. I want to walk in and it smell like fucking blood, sweat, and tears from the last guy.
Yeah, it should smell like the law being laid down.
Like the law is being laid down. That's right. And it's just, this is not, there's a perception that I have in my head. And I think all men have it, right? When you walk into somewhere, you have an expectation. If you walk into a hardware store, you have an expectation of what a hardware store is supposed to look like. If it doesn't look like that, you're like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I can trust this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It should smell. Grumpelstiltskin is right. It should smell like leather-bound books and Irish or I think he means rich mahogany, with maybe a little, just a hint of tobacco from a pipe in the air. Right. Just a hint. Like one guy there still smokes a pipe after all these years.
And just a hint of sad depression for those that lost their
crushed souls. If you can, if you
smell the crushed souls, you're in the right place.
Yeah, I know I'm in the right place because as we all know, when you want a lawyer, you want a fucking shark.
Yeah,
you want a guy that just has zero scruples, that is just going to get the fucking job done. And I want the meanest son of a bitch. I want a guy that I would never invite for dinner.
Right,
that's the guy I want.
So let me ask another question then.
Yeah, man.
Because
we got to start wrapping this up a little bit. I'm running long, but that's okay. We're having a good conversation. So
okay. So because I am fully remote worker, as are most of our employees, our boss is she is a female boss. Well, not like boss. Like,
I hope she is a female.
But she is female. But her style, her style is she's the best boss I've ever had, ever, by far. Whenever there's rewards to be given out, like we win a government contract or something, she divvies out bonuses. It doesn't say it anywhere in the employee handbook that this will happen. She just does it. And whenever there's holidays and she's like, hey, I'm going to take off on a half day early, she messages all the employees and says, I'm taking off early. Everyone else should take off early too. Don't count it against your PTO. Just go ahead and take off. If I'm not working, you shouldn't be working. She's very considerate that way. She also is extremely diverse, but she doesn't hire based on DEI. She just looks for qualification, and it turns out that when you do that, you end up with a very diverse group. So I work with, every nationality, every ethnicity, and we all work extremely well together as like winners. But there's no There's no safe space. There's no flowers because there's no office. It's all entirely remote. But she is a female boss, and part of the reason why is because she said, I can get government discounts because of a female-owned business. Let me run this, and we will get discounts on our jobs because the government, promotes that. Also, she's a minority, so she's like, that's double. We're female-owned and we're minority-owned. we're going to get all these bonuses, which means we're going to win more, which means all of us make a lot more money. But she doesn't, there's never been a time where I heard her say, well, I'm a female Indian, whatever. That's never happened. I think she's an incredibly based woman, even though she is female and a minority. But the way that she runs the business is actually incredibly successful. She's taking advantage of all the stuff that the government has going on, and us all being remote, we don't have to worry about, the workspace. Even in meetings, there's no meetings where there's, you got to have a background that's flowery or anything like that. So, I mean, I guess in this situation, I would give it a thumbs up. She did well.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I've only had a few female bosses. One that was just terrible, so I kind of avoid them. So, Jake Boss says, "Isn't smoking in buildings illegal?" LOL. Probably not if you own it and you're a lawyer. So,
Can I reply to that? Even though it is illegal, wouldn't that mean you have a good lawyer that you can still do it?
I got a room full of lawyers. Literally. That's funny.
About
that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting the way all of this stuff is kind of going down. What's really interesting to me? I'm probably the only one that is that finds this interesting, but it seems like the people who are like listening to this podcast right now, the people out there who are most active and most concerned with the direction of the country are coming back to center, and hopefully we'll start going more right as time goes on. And I like that. I think that it's a it's a good way to be. I'm very, what's the right word? I'm very enthusiastic about how we can move forward, right? And I enjoy the idea that at some point we're going to be able to push the demons back where they belong. Yeah.
You don't
I still have hope. It is hilarious. Thank you, Anson. I'm not going to say that I expect you to get completely crushed tomorrow in your debate, but I don't have a side to root on.
Oh, where can we find a link to that debate? Because I'd be interested.
Yeah, we need to figure that out. All right, guys.
I think it's on Mr. Westford's channel.
On who?
It's on Mr. Westford's channel. I'm debating him on evolution.
Mr. Lawrence or?
Mr. Westford.
Westford.
I believe that's the name of the channel.
Which side are you debating on?
Evolution's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, well then I hope you win. I mean, science is on your side, sir.
Mr. Westford. Okay. Anson Knowles, you'll send me the link to that. I'll check it out tomorrow. All right, guys. I'm 12 minutes long here. You guys know the drill. Got to get off my lawn. Go away. Leave me alone. Happy everybody was here. We'll see you tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow afternoon, but more likely tomorrow night for our regularly scheduled Friday evening podcast at 8:05 Central Standard Time. Yes, I know that annoys all of my foreign buddies, but it is what it is. I'm going to send you over to Jess's chat. I don't think a whole lot of people are watching her, so you guys give her some love over there, and hopefully it's worthwhile. Thanks for being on, Chris and John. You guys have a great rest of your day, and get off my lawn.